Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of the Anination Podcast. Nate is here, Omid is here, and it's been a week, but at least we celebrated Thanksgiving pretty well, right, everybody?
Oh, yeah. What is up, Anination crowd? Hope y'all having a wonderful day, and we especially hope that you had a wonderful weekend, the past weekend, considering certain holidays that happened. We're going to be talking about.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one holiday that came out. It's Thanksgiving.
That is true, but there's also more, and we're going to touch upon more. Like, there's also one particular day that focuses on shopping that we're going to touch upon.
But that's not really a known holiday, but it's the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, yes.
It's not a holiday, but yeah, well, it kind of is for me because, well, no work day after Friday.
Yeah, I know that. Nobody works after Friday. Thankfully, I think all companies are kind of like that, where, you don't work on the day after Thanksgiving, unless you're like a retail worker, which unfortunately, so sorry that you had to go through all the shopping that happened on Black Friday. So
mad respect to all those retail employees.
Yeah, I hope you get paid extra of what's going on. But the thing is, like, Black Fridays back then, we've been going through Black Fridays before where we just been shopping our guts off, to say.
Oh yeah,
or more like shopping our wallets off, to say.
Yeah, it's pretty much it was pretty much a nightmare for our wallets, but a dream come true for us because, yeah, there were times in the past, like the past decade, where we have actually gone to, sort of like a Black Friday tour where you go from one shop to the other.
I remember I called it the Black Friday World Tour, where we like literally just go around the area and just go to all the shopping spots that we think we're going to be open during like the midnight rush. So like Best Buy, Fry's Electronics. Fry's is rest in peace, by the way. I missed that store.
I know. I've had so many good memories of Fry's, By the way, press F for respect for Fry's. And not just because it has the first word, F for Fry's.
There's also, the Great Mall, which, is where I live right now. So the Great Mall is over there, and they actually are open for, like, the whole entire night. It's kind of crazy because, like, you'll see a lot of people come in around, like, 10 p.m. getting all of the clothes and whatever things they need. Plus, like, Starbucks is open, so you can get a free coffee. Get a coffee while you're shopping.
Yeah.
So,
because you need the caffeine.
Because the mall was quite crazy when it comes to, like, Black Friday shopping and all.
Oh, yeah. Like it is to say, our Black Friday shopping has been a bit chaotic, to say the least.
Yeah, I remember. But here's the thing also, like, it only happens around like the 10 p.m. rush where everybody comes in and then all the people just get their stuff and all. And then it's like around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, the stores are still open, but everybody's left because they want to go to bed.
Yeah, probably because of food coma. Either that or not really shopping coma, but it's more like they're burned out from the shopping, so they have to
go.
Too
late. I would imagine, like, I mean, back then, like, we were like young. Like what, in our young, like older 20s, young 30s and stuff. And we would go through that a lot. But now that we're getting older, now I can understand why some adults end up like bailing out after 1 o'clock or 2 in the morning.
The only kind of shopping we do now is Black Friday online shopping. Like you pretty much go to, sites like Amazon or Walmart or Target. And then you can get these deals online for, just as good of a price.
Yeah. Amazon itself, I mean, they have some good deals and all, but I mean, here's the things about Black Friday now. Thanks to the whole pandemic, we can actually get our Black Friday deals literally on Monday, the week of Black Friday.
Yeah, there is such a thing as like Cyber Monday. They call it Cyber Monday.
Yeah, but that's after. That's after Thanksgiving. I'm saying literally on the week of Thanksgiving, that Monday, the Black Friday deals are ready for you. So it's like this year, for example, I ended up buying a brand new PC monitor and a TV, which is like really like in my range of like payments, to say. And the sale's already there on Monday, so I ended up buying it on Monday, picked it up on Tuesday, and that was my Black Friday shopping.
Honestly, there's something I want to bring up. Is that, like, if the deals are pretty much the deals are displayed on the Monday or Tuesday, like the Black Friday week, like Thanksgiving week and stuff like that, instead of Black Friday, they should call it Black Week.
Yeah, well, here's the thing that happened when it comes to Black Friday now. It's not really called Black Friday anymore because they know that whole entire, like, period of shopping is always going to be on Black Friday. The issue now has been, I think, the pandemic. Because, like, everybody, because, like, in 2020, 2021, nobody really went out to get shopping. So we ended up shopping online, and I think that's pretty much everybody's adjustment now. Everyone's just going to be shopping online instead of, going out, in stores and end up buying their own things for Christmas.
Yeah, another thing too is that you're definitely correct about that. In that the pandemic pretty much changed the way that we shop, and it changed a lot of things. But the way we shop is one of them, because we're pretty much grown more accustomed to buying things online instead of just always having to go to the store all the time. It's like, no, you can pretty much click whatever item you need in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, which is kind of the unfortunate part, because like I remember back then where we always would wake up like really early in the morning to get to the store to get your favorite like item that you wanted to buy.
Yeah,
that was a great rush though. I mean, like to go into Best Buy like 3 a.m, get your item, and then like wait in that big long line for an hour to check out. But
I remember
there was so many things that we bought from back then, like video games, like PC parts, TVs, that kind of thing. I just remember like Best Buy was always our one spot that we want to go to, and I would always grab like a PC or video games, DVDs, those kind of media, before we all just went into online shopping.
Yeah, I remember how I did my Black Friday shopping is that it was always light. It was always light Black Friday shopping. It's never really something I splurged on. For me, it was just mainly like 99% of it was mainly just video games and Blu-rays.
Nothing about clothes. They had sales for clothes that you can just buy off in retail stores,
Clothes here and there. I have bought clothes here and there, but it's mostly video games and Blu-rays, like I said.
I thought you would go to Hot Topic and go for the buy one, get one free deal, get those t-shirts for buy one, get one free.
That was a sometimes thing. It was a sometimes thing.
But your favorite animes would be like in Hot Topic.
I remember I would go to, buy anime shirts at Hot Topic. I remember those, but it wasn't nearly as often as going to other stores and buying other things. But yes, I did have memories of going to Hot Topic back in the Black Friday era. I did remember having the earliest memories of that.
Yeah, see, those were the good times. Oh my God, yeah.
Yes.
But no, this year's Black Friday, I didn't even actually wake up that early for Black Friday. I literally just like spent my Thanksgiving with the family at that night, at the night before Black Friday, and then on Black Friday, I just ended up just relaxing at home. There really wasn't really much to do about Black Friday, so literally, I feel like that rush of people going into Black Friday now is just like I'm not one of them anymore, so I'm kind of like kind of died on that.
Yeah, like I'm not one of those people that still stay up all night shopping or wait in the long line. No, those days are over for me.
Yeah, so I would say it was a good run for us to do Black Friday shopping now, but thanks to pretty much online retail stores, now that's our brand new tool of us going to Black Friday shopping now.
You could say we kind of retired from the Black Friday tour.
Yeah, I would say.
We retired from it.
Will I ever go back? Maybe. I might actually hop on if it actually is much safer to go out there, but who knows? It all depends.
Yeah, the future is unpredictable, so who really knows? Yeah.
So Black Friday was one thing that happened during that weekend, but Omid, you actually did something else than Black Friday stuff on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yes, I did. And what I did was that I went to this convention called F.O.N.N Expo located in San Francisco. So pretty much me and my friend Greg, we spent the whole weekend in F.O.N.N Expo. And what we did was our primary goal was to get a picture with Mark Hamill, which the photo op ticket itself was a birthday gift gifted to him from his family. And so originally it was going to be just the two of us going to meet Mark Hamill, but since we couldn't find two more people, but we ran into our high school friend named Lizzie and her partner Justin.
Aww.
Yeah, so it was.
I haven't seen Lizzie in so long, by the way. I mean, it's been over a decade. I'm like, what the hell?
It's been over a decade since we've seen Lizzie.
How did you end up actually telling them, "Hey, we have a ticket for Mark Hamill. Do you want to come join us and visit us and see Mark Hamill?"
Well, we actually ran into them. Like,
did you ask them to say like, "Hey, you want to come along with us?"
We did. We asked them actually.
Was that kind of like I would expect Lizzie saying like, "Oh, are you sure? Are you sure we want to join you? Because I have to pay you money for that, right?"
We explained to them that you don't have to pay a single cent for it, and so that's when Liz pretty much said, "I'm in. Let's meet Mark Hamill." Because hey, who wouldn't say no to see Mark Hamill for free? Am I right?
Well, true. I mean, yeah. I mean, you definitely have to thank what was it, Greg's parents for that. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that ticket was not cheap at all.
Oh no, they weren't, and they of course they are loving people. You know, I've met them a few times, but yeah, it was one hell of a gift to give to the birthday boy, and yeah, I'm blessed to be part of the gift. When I mean part of the gift, I mean like in the photo op.
Yeah, I saw the photo op, and it turns out you had a fun time meeting up with Mark Hamill. So
yes,
yeah.
I got my Joker shirt ready for it. Like I bought the Joker shirt a few days prior to the event, and so the interesting thing was that after they took a photo of us, like Mark Hamill did his Joker impression and pointed out my Joker shirt. It's like, oh, I see Joker shirt.
Nice, really nice.
And the thing is, with the rules, like they pretty much made a rule, or it's just like, you know, no movie lines, references, or anything like that. Because
did you do that?
No, we didn't do that. It's like Mark Hamill did to me first.
Okay, so at least you did that. That's great.
And it's I felt starstruck.
Mark Hamill would be, do that. That's amazing, though.
I felt starstruck. Yeah, Mark Hamill's an amazing guy.
Yeah.
Once you meet him, yeah, he's an all-around friendly dude.
I would imagine he's a really chill guy. I mean, I'm obviously going to be able to meet up with him just because I'm not a big fan of Mark Hamill. I know that he's, Luke Skywalker from Star Wars. Okay, but. Yeah, right?
Not only that, also Joker from Batman the Animated Series and the Arkham games, Firelord Ozai from Avatar Last Airbender, and Skips from Regular Show.
Yeah, I remember that. But now the thing is, like, were you there for the Star Wars stuff, or were you there for just the voice acting?
I was there mainly for the Mark Hamill photo op and the live panel that came up like later on, where it was pretty much Mark Hamill talking to the audience about his path to acting and all that stuff. And then the next day, Greg and I, dressed up as Mario and Luigi, even though I had overalls and he had just like the green shirt and plus the Luigi hat, so that counts. So what we did was that we went to the roam around Artist Alley, and then Deer's Hall, and then we went to this video game cosplay meetup spot where we met up with like other video game cosplayers. Especially we pretty much met a few Mario themed cosplayers. There was pretty much there was this one woman who did this amazing Mario cosplay, like pretty much as if like Mario was a princess, like Princess Mario.
Really?
It's really cute. It's really awesome.
Interesting. So it's what? It's like a red dress instead of a pink dress?
It's a red dress instead of a pink dress, yeah.
And does he have like the Mario hat on?
Yeah. She still does.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
And the parasol too.
Okay.
The red parasol. And there was also this Luigi cosplayer and Daisy cosplayer that went together. It was sweet.
It made sense because they're a couple, right? Luigi and Daisy?
Oh yeah, Luigi and Daisy.
But you have Mario and Luigi, the Mario brothers,
Yeah, we have.
So so is the video game like gathering supposed to be like all video games?
Yeah, it's pretty much all video games, ranging from Mario to Legend of Zelda, to like they even got a Batman Arkham version of the Joker cosplayer, and he nailed it down to a T.
Ooh, really awesome.
And so, of course, I asked him, did you know Mark Hamill was at Fan Expo? And he was just like, yeah.
Of course he would. I mean, like, he would dress up as the Joker. I would imagine he had a ticket to meet up with Mark Hamill.
Oh, yeah, he would. Yeah, when I saw Joker cosplay, I was like, I know why you dressed up like that.
You would just say, like, randomly Mark Hamill just walk around Fan Expo, and then he'll notice it, then, have a good interaction with him.
And so, and yeah, we pretty much went down to the Deer's Hall, roamed around, and then we interacted with a few more cosplayers. There was this one cosplayer that was pretty much Dekulorian. And what I mean by that is it's Izuku Midoriya who dressed up as the Mandalorian.
What? So is it like, what was it, like him armored up or something? Is it all green and...
Him armored in green, and plus he has that Deku hair. So yeah.
So the hair like standing out of the whole helmet?
No, it's pretty much not out of his helmet, but it's more like she had the helmet on her arm.
But you're as a Mandalorian, you're not supposed to take off your helmet.
The Mandalorian does... That's the code, but he does take off his helmet in a few occasions.
In a few occasions, yes. Yeah. But I remember the code is supposed to not take off your helmet. Or maybe she's on break. I don't know.
Maybe she's on break. Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, there are some cosplayers that do like to mix together characters combined into one, just like I described.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that then, if that's the case. They're pretty clever on the like concept idea of actually mixing anime with Star Wars, to say.
Yeah, that's a brilliant concept, and it's definitely a way to it's definitely takes more effort, and it's also one of those cosplays that catches the congoer's attention.
Okay. I mean, like, obviously a lot of people would, I think the thing that makes a cosplay great is the craftsmanship of like said armor or said cosplay. Obviously, and then a lot of people will take pictures of that. I was just there just to dress up as just a random person, a random character in an anime or a cartoon series, and I'm just like, hey, if you notice me, go take pictures if you want to.
Extra creativity is a plus.
I know, but I don't really care about the creativity. I'm too old to actually care about my cosplays. Okay.
Yeah, we're just like whippersnappers.
Yeah, but like, you were really dedicated on Mario. Are you gonna like upgrade it more, or are you just gonna keep it as it is?
I'm probably gonna keep it as is. Honestly, I feel like I'm very satisfied with the Mario cosplay I've been doing.
Mm-hmm. So no change in overalls, no change in shirt or anything like that.
I mean, I may consider a mustache, but that's a maybe.
Yeah, but you'll just make it out of felt or something, just put it on your freaking face, yeah. But yeah, I know that a lot of people went to Fan Expo for the Star Wars stuff. Obviously it's during Thanksgiving weekend, so I didn't want to go just because I want to celebrate it more with my family since they were visiting from far away.
Makes sense. It is Thanksgiving after all.
I know. So like my sister came from Oregon. She came back and wanted to hang out with her a little bit more just because we wanted to catch up and everything. Fan Expo was a convention that just was inconveniently during a holiday weekend. If it was like in a different kind of weekend, maybe I might consider going. But Thanksgiving weekend is mostly with like friends and family, so I just would love to stick with that instead of going to a con.
I think that's one criticism I can give Fan Expo is that you need to schedule your convention during a weekend when they want to spend time with family because, well, it is Thanksgiving weekend, like you said.
Yeah. So you didn't want to, hang out with family?
Well, because honestly, I didn't have any plans on Thanksgiving other than the obvious Thanksgiving Day. Yeah. There wasn't much that I had, planned other than, the Friday photo op. So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to go the whole weekend.
So you went the whole weekend. You ended up like, I'm surprised when you said pre-show that you didn't actually buy in much stuff over at the convention. I thought you'd be tempted with all the stuff that they were going to bring out, like comic, fan art, or like collectible stuff that you would love to have in your collection.
Yeah, like as much awesome stuff that there wasn't really anything that, screamed out, oh, must buy immediately because, well, I've done my own shopping like prior to Thanksgiving weekend. Mm-hmm. And another thing too is that my bank account was a bit lower than expected.
What were you spending it on?
Just a couple things for Black Friday, plus some games that I've gotten recently. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess we went really hard on Black Friday shopping in this case.
Yeah, well, it was a mixture of Black Friday, plus there was some games like that didn't have the Black Friday deal that I got recently. So it was a mixture of the two.
Yeah, maybe you could consider like what to buy for video games next time. What to buy first, then what to buy later.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much don't do what I did. Like pretty much.
It's a lesson learned from what Amin had to go through.
If you're gonna plan on buying multiple video games, because trust me, there was a lot of video games that were hype during this fall. Like not just Super Mario Wonder and Spider-Man 2, but also Super Mario RPG and Persona 5 Tactica that came out recently.
Dude, altogether, that's like $120.
Yeah. I would say that like. For anyone that's watching, like if you plan on buying many games, just buy a couple for fall. And then if you have games that you're not as anticipated for as some of the others, buy those for later.
Yeah, I don't know why you ended up like rushing to buy all those games, to be fair.
I think it's because video games are still kind of, the on-demand sort of thing. And what I mean by on-demand is that, I pre-order them carefully to make sure that, I'll be the first to, get them during release date.
Yeah, but I can wait because I still have a lot of backlog of games to play.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. No, you and me both, brother. I have backlog. I have a huge backlog to, catch up on too. But let's be honest. The day that the backlog actually is completed, it's going to take...
Probably take you like a lot of years considering how many games you have bought, you know?
A lot of decades.
Yeah.
Crush that's a lot of decades.
It's too late. It's too late now. He's fallen into the pit.
Yeah, I'm falling to the pit that, it's going to be hard to climb up on.
Yeah. Here's the thing, like, video games I take time to do. Plus, I'm, like, busy with other things as well. Work, family, friends, hanging out, plus conventions and other things. That video games can be pushed aside for later.
Yeah, video games is something that I play like during my downtime, like after work. That's the thing. When I'm not at work or hang out with, friends or family, video games is my go-to.
Yeah, although to be fair, my case is more towards a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're really living different like schedules or something. But well, you look like you had a fun weekend yourself. But
and you had a fun weekend yourself too, with your sister and
I didn't say anything about that yet.
No, but like you said, you were spending time with family.
Yeah, I was spending time with family, like, hanging out with my sister for most of the weekend. And plus, like, my mom is obviously back at home. My aunt and uncle was hosting Thanksgiving dinner, and I also did bring a couple of my cousins over, so I was able to actually hang out with them as well. So that Thursday night was just fun, just all hanging out, Thanksgiving dinner, watching, what was it? Sorry, we were watching the football game, too, because the Niners were playing the Seahawks. Niners won, by the way, so congrats to us.
Yeah, you got your revenge. That's the thing. You got your revenge because I remember, which was like almost a decade earlier, I remember when the Seahawks beat the Niners in Levi Stadium, and then...
Yeah, I remember that 9 years ago where they were, like, eating turkey right in front of our field. Yeah, that's revenge right there, for sure.
And now you guys got to eat, your share of the turkey in front of Seahawks fans. So
yeah.
Must be sweet revenge.
That was fine. I appreciate that. I enjoyed it, and the Seahawks are not that good anymore. So good that the Niners are still dominating.
Yeah, congrats to your team.
Yeah. And then Friday, I didn't really do much, but me and our friend Jess, we ended up watching the movie Wish. We'll review Wish a little later on in another podcast episode, but it was not bad of a movie.
Yeah, we got some things to say about Wish. We do plan to talk about it in the future, and yeah, we want to give our own thoughts on the movie.
Mm-hmm. And then on Saturday, we all hanged out over at Napa. I think we were there just to do some wine tasting, hang out with like a couple of family members up there too. So it turned out to be a fun like luncheon that we went up there for. Went up to the wineries, took some sips of wine. Just chill, pretty much. What matters about the wine tasting is more towards like you have the wine, you have your crudité, the bread and this cheese is with you too. So all you do is just take your wine and eat some food, just relax while you're hanging out with family.
Yeah, nice, because that's what Thanksgiving weekend's about. Spend time with family and loved ones.
Yeah, but you went hang out with your friends in Fan Expo, so that's another story.
Well, hence I said family and friends. So.
Okay. And then on Sunday, I didn't really do much. I just mostly just hanged out for the rest of the weekend, just at home. Oh, no, wait, what am I talking about? So I had so here's the thing. The weekend before, the press team that I'm with, when it comes to conventions, they were doing a coverage about KomoriCon up in Portland. The thing is that the press team was still remaining up there for the whole entire week, because it's only a couple that's up there. So the two of them were up in Portland, and they were just going to go drive all the way down, from the Oregon coastline all the way to the California coastline, because they lived in SoCal. So they had to drive all the way from Irvine all the way up to Portland, and then spent 2 weeks pretty much driving all the way down. On the Sunday of Thanksgiving break, the two of them actually visited San Francisco, and they asked me out and told me hey, we're in San Francisco, you want to hang out with us? And so I headed over to San Francisco, hanged out with them. I went to Japantown, pretty much showed them Japantown, and they told me it's actually better than Little Tokyo, and I'm like, are you sure? Little Tokyo is way bigger, but they told me it's less congested compared to San Francisco's, because San Francisco's a little bit more open. LA's is more oh my god, there's a block full of Little Tokyo stuff. So they said San Francisco was great, so I'm assuming Japantown SF is better than Little Tokyo, which I find it surprising.
Yeah, I think it's because, San Francisco, Japantown is more wider than Little Tokyo, I guess.
I think so, but you went to Little Tokyo. You should know.
I went to Little Tokyo, but I'm saying in the scale, when you talk about the scale, Japantown is bigger than Little Tokyo, but they still both look nice regardless.
Little Tokyo is bigger than San Francisco's for sure. Yes. So
okay, I've been to Little Tokyo like once or twice. I may have checked out some areas and other parts I didn't. So
yeah, but I mean, it is to their judgment. So I find it surprising that the SoCal folks really like the San Francisco Little Tokyos. I mean, the San Francisco Japantown. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Went to Kinokuniya, bought some manga and some gifts for a couple friends. FYI, your friends, you'll get some stuff from Kinokuniya. And then I also did. We ended up going to Marafuku Ramen, which I think is the best ramen spot out there. They told me that there's a SoCal spot that's better than the one in Marafuku, but I still think it's great. Japantown has a lot of changes, by the way. Like there's brand new stores. There's a new gachapon store, which I'm now really not okay with.
Really?
I would waste a lot of money.
I need to check out this store,
Sorry.
but my wall won't allow.
Sorry, it's not a gachapon thing. It's a crane game store, by the way.
Even so, I gotta check out this crane game.
Yeah. But like you spend $1, you go to these tiny crane games, and then you see if you can be able to pick it up in the crane and get into the prize shoot. I actually did end up getting one thing though, which is an Oshinoko pin. So.
Yes, I love Oshinoko.
Yeah, but it's not the character that I want though. I ended up getting Ruby. So.
Oh, I see. Well, actually, Ruby is one of the best characters. So you know what? I say you still got a pretty good character.
Yeah, I kind of wanted Aqua though, but
to be fair, Aqua is the better written of the two.
Well, because he's the main character of the show,
and also because they're both twins in their reincarnation. I will say Aqua does. He is technically the main character, but Ruby does get her time to shine as well.
She does, because Ruby becomes the idol too. So
yeah.
It's kind of crazy how like Ruby follows in her mom's footsteps while Aqua tries to find the killer.
Yeah, like Aqua tries to find the killer while getting into like the acting, industry, the acting business.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because like I don't really watch the anime. I read the manga, and it's so accurate. So it tells you like how like Aqua started acting when he was a kid, and you see Ruby trying to act just like to be his mom.
Yeah, and it also addresses the dark side of Japanese entertainment,
which is the main focus of it, anyways.
That's what it is.
But yeah, I mean, Thanksgiving weekend is fun. If you have noticed, we have not talked about Thanksgiving Day itself because we're going to be talking more about that in our main subject tonight. Definitely. But for now, it looks like we had a really fun weekend for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Thanksgiving weekend is always a go-to treat for me because Thursday off, Friday off, Saturday off, Sunday off. So,
I mean, just a 4-day weekend itself, right?
Yeah, the 4-day week itself. Yeah,
I know we had a lot of things to talk about for our Thanksgiving weekend, but let's go ahead and actually start our episode here. So let's actually start it off with The Ghost and Molly McGee. Now, there were no new episodes that happened during Thanksgiving weekend, but the weekend before, there is new episodes that came out, F.O.N.N.A and Game On. So let's go ahead and review these episodes. So, F.O.N.N.A. So, this episode, F.O.N.N.A, this episode is about Molly McGee when it comes to being scared and all. Scratch puts a curse on Molly McGee to be fearless, and the rest is pretty much chaotic.
Oh, yeah. And when we mean chaotic, well, you'll definitely see what we mean by that.
So the episode pretty much starts where we get to see like Molly, like you think it's just gonna be a fun day out with Molly, Sharon, and Scratch, right? Things are gonna be fine and things like that. However, but unfortunately, Scratch literally had to say that they're going to the dentist, which made Molly go like this.
Look at the exact attention to detail, that close up right there. It is just.
I love the startup too. It's like because Molly was just like saying like, where are we gonna go, and then Scratch literally just says, I thought we were gonna bring her to the dentist, and she goes, what?
My God, look at that face! Like it is just a mixture of fear and absolute shock. Like she is appalled. Like she is just straight up freaked out.
I'm not gonna lie. This whole episode had so many Molly faces that will probably scare your butts off.
Actually, there's a number of Molly faces that are memeable.
I mean, they're gonna be memeable for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, they went to the dentist office. It comes with this. Apparently, Molly's scared about this one tooth figure. Okay, look at it. I mean, he's literally smiling. He's got a king crown. It looks like he's going to probably like kill you with that toothbrush that he's holding.
Oh yeah. You could pretty much see him like this. This is a pretty good, accurate picture for a horror flick. Like toothy, he will crush your teeth. or something like that.
So, your thoughts on like how this scene went through, like when you saw Molly like getting scared of going to the dentist and the reasons why.
Okay, what I love about this opening scene is that it subverts our expectations very well. Because usually there's this cliche plot line of characters being scared to go to the dentist because of the dentist appointment itself. Because let's be honest, going to the dentist can be a painful experience. That drill, man, that drill can really hurt you. But it turns out that she's actually scared for the dentist because of a different reason. And it's because of its mascot. And actually it's for good reason too, because when you look at this mascot, when you look at this godforsaken tooth, you think to yourself, yeah, this toothy, very nightmarish.
Like, I understand why Molly is just hiding right now in the car. Like, she's trying her best to like hold on to the car while like Sharon and Scratch try to pull her aside, just for her to get inside so that she can get that dentist, teeth thing going on here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's scared. Yes, we get it. She's scared.
We can clearly see that she is. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, Molly definitely is scared about this, but of course they need to get this dentist appointment through. So I want to understand, like, did Scratch literally just put a curse on Molly because of this, or did somebody say like, hey, we need her to get into the dentist, time for me to put a spell on you or a curse on you?
It's more along the lines of it's more lines of Scratch saying, hey Molly, aren't you scared? Aren't you tired of being fearful? Do you not want to be scared anymore? Then I shall curse you to, live without fear for the next 24 hours. So she has only 24 hours to go without fear.
Yep, pretty much. So yeah, she pretty much got cursed for 24 hours without fear. And she walks, and the thing is that she ended up going to the appointment. Looks like she's scared, fearless for the tooth, and it looks like she ended up actually having a great time, without the dentist. Kind of unfortunate that we couldn't be able to see the whole entire scene of like her in the dentist appointment.
Yeah, because it would have been like, actually, I would have loved to see fearless Molly at the dentist appointment, because I would imagine the dentist pretty much pulling out, saying to Molly, saying that, oh, you have cavities, time to bring out the drill. And then usually, most dentist patients, including myself, get scared of the drill because it hurts so bad. Like, I want to see Molly try to deal with the drill herself without fear.
So how impressed were you seeing that this actually works out, that this curse is working out for Molly?
I would say that the curse worked out so well, but then at the same time, it works too well. But from what I'm seeing here, I love how fearless Molly, not only is she fearless, but she also looks really carefree. And so in this part of the episode, and you could pretty much see that it has helped her to her benefit.
I mean, it definitely did benefit her, especially the fact that, like, now that she's a fearless woman or a fearless young girl, she can pretty much do whatever she wants. And AKA, she pretty much is taking advantage of that now.
Oh, yeah. She's going to be milking it for as long as it lasts, because it's 24 hours,
So when they got back home, she pretty much has like pretty much the whole entire day to go fearless, to say. So, I don't care about the Sharon tips. I don't know why she did this, by the way. I kind of put that as a screen cap, but
it was just so random.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, what? Do you care? Like, what kind of tip was that? Anyways, so was it Sharon ends up putting up this whole new acronym called F.O.N.N.A, which is pretty much the title of this episode.
Otherwise known as F.O.N.N.A.
Yeah, F.O.N.N.A. But it does mean something. It's called fear of nothing at all. So
yes.
She ends up having F.O.N.N.A. So since Molly now has no fear at all, this means she can pretty much do anything. So we get to see clips of Molly going through situations where, say for example, Daryl's spider comes out, and you're expecting like Molly would actually be scared, kind of fearful. It's like, oh my god, I kind of like the spider. I mean, we've seen this throughout like all of season 1, where like Molly is scared of a spider. And then in season 2, they thought they'd kill the spider. So yeah, Molly on the other hand, a fearless Molly would actually do something like this and actually eat a spider. I'm like,
okay, it's one thing to play with a spider, but to almost eat it, it's just like, and also, this really does paint a picture of how the curse really works, because, let's be honest, who would in the right mind want to play with a spider like this, unless of course they're mentally insane? And then even Daryl looks at her like, all grossed out, like, what are you doing?
No, exactly. But the thing is that, again, fearless Molly. So if anything, Molly is just doing whatever it takes to be, courageous throughout the whole entire 24 hours that she has. So a spider is literally just crawling in her face. There's also moments where, like, she was about to, like, stand up to herself about a teacher that doesn't like the teaching methods. So, if anything, that's actually pretty neat to actually see Molly just stand up in front of a teacher.
Yeah, the way that she pretty much stands up to Mr. Bates and pretty much tells him, hey, I'm not taking your woodworking class. And then what I love about, this scene is the way that they handle the temper of Mr. Bates. Because at first you see Mr. Bates all popping up steaming, and then he pretty much takes time to cool down. Like, you do see him go from 100 to 0 fast.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, like, I understand, like, in Molly's situation where, like, you go in front of a teacher, he may end up, like, becoming very angry at you for, like, ditching class and things like that, even getting those kind of judgments and things like that. So at least this teacher is actually, like, getting angry and getting calm at the same time. He's taking anger management classes. That's what I saw.
Yeah, and it really does show, because it really does show how one does deal with temper when taking an anger management class. But I'm saying, like, I love how the animators exaggerate his anger and trying to calm down his anger. And it all comes down to, like, how they handle the color of his overall face and skin, like going from red to normal.
Yeah, and the thing is that he didn't get like, I was saying, Molly didn't get in trouble. Well, actually, what am I talking about? Molly did get in trouble because she ended up getting detention because of this.
And then, of course, now getting detention is also another one of the things that Molly fears, which is why when you see her walk into that classroom, she walks in with confidence.
Yeah,
because
I love the fact that, like, people were, like, gasping. The fact that, like, oh my God, Molly McGee, you're in detention? I never expect this at all. Even Daryl, for example, because I would imagine he would be the, detention kid.
Exactly. You'd think that Daryl would be used to detention by now.
No, exactly. But then Molly comes out of nowhere, so it made sense why Daryl gets so concerned for Molly, knowing the fact that she's actually in detention with him.
Yeah, and then not only that, but I think what surprises Daryl, what really puzzles him, is the way that Molly looks when she's in detention. Not just by the fact that she's in detention herself by his side, but also, like, her reaction to being in detention.
Yeah,
because usually most kids would be, fearful, mad, angry, or even scared that they're in detention.
More like shocked would be a big factor, considering, like, you got detention, you're gonna be staying in, like, a room for, like, the rest of after school or at lunchtime, who knows? But yeah, I understand, like, in his situation what happened.
Yeah, and yeah, all I gotta say is I think it's the first since we've seen Molly in detention. I can't recall whether or not she's been in detention before.
I don't think she has in The Ghost of Molly McGee. Then again, we have to watch more of those old episodes then.
That's true. And even then, she's a good girl compared to Daryl being the bad boy. So
yeah, so I don't know what's going on here, but Molly is doing whatever it takes on her fearless road here. So here comes a musical number, and it combines Molly doing a lot of stuff, like, skateboarding, like taking a creepy doll and taking selfies with her, doing a lot of fearless stuff.
Oh yeah, including show it.
No, I'll show it later. Now she's doing parkour stuff. She's, like, literally jumping with chainsaws and kissing Ollie. Oh my God. So I want to put this out there. Is this the first Molly kiss? I don't know if we would consider this the first Molly kiss.
Yeah. The thing is that look, I get that, Molly and Ollie, they're an official couple now, but seriously, you couldn't have the Molly kiss. You couldn't have saved the Molly kiss for a later episode or have it built up, because let me tell you, like, this is actually kind of poorly handled when you look at the way that it's being used. It's being used as a throwaway gag. That's the issue. Yeah. Is that the thing is, why I have such an issue with it is because this isn't like it's sort of like a thing that happens like every episode. You don't see them, kissing every episode. This is a first kiss, and the thing is, if you're gonna have a first kiss between a ship, it has to be powerful and it has to be something that it has to be significant. It has to have meaning to it. Like when I look at this, I think to myself, this is just a throwaway gag to make it like some kind of joke to amplify that Molly is fearless. But the thing is, she could have done this like with or without fear anyway, because they are an official couple.
Yeah, I mean, this is the fear of public affection. And she shows it really well, because usually, when you kiss in public, it could get a little bit scary. Because it's like, what's the judgment when it comes to kissing in public? I would imagine a lot of people be like, ew, gross, blah, blah, blah. And she does it, of course, she does it so recklessly that obviously it does get really gross.
Even so, while that may amplify the point, okay, while it could be correct that this pretty much highlights that Molly's no longer, fearful of, public attention, kissing of public attention, all this stuff. My point does still stand that they could have come up with something better than, kissing your boyfriend in public.
No, exactly. Instead, I wanted the first kiss to be something more romantic than just a forced kiss like this.
Exactly.
And, again, what are you guys doing? You guys could have done better when it comes to the absolute first kiss of Molly and Ollie, but this doesn't seem correct.
It doesn't seem. Yeah, it just seems. It just seems like a really rushed and forced way to have your characters kiss for the first time.
So yeah, Molly and Ollie's first kiss ends up becoming part of a montage of fearless Molly.
Yeah.
But the montage doesn't end there. There's a lot more things where he just like comes out in public, does a lot of things, does like pretty much stands out. She literally is not afraid of snakes anymore, not afraid of clowns, not afraid of heights. And then we also do get to see this girl again. I don't know why, but some of you fans are loving her for some reason.
Oh yeah, honestly, I can't really remember the name of the character herself, but I do know that she has had an impact on fan art.
Yes, I know. And this girl just only came up literally in a softball game, and she comes up again, and looks like she ends up actually Molly actually being fearless and actually hits a home run in front of her face. So pretty much all her fears are all conquered, to say. So your thoughts on this whole entire montage of, Molly being fearless?
Yeah, honestly, I'm just going to say this. Not only does the montage of her being fearless legitimately work, but also the F.O.N.N.A music number as well really does help blend in with the montage, because the alternative rock genre that the song has especially pretty much further emphasizes, it pretty much helps support the... It helps support the point of, Molly being fearless. So, of course, you got to have the alternative rock, feel to it.
Yeah, and I actually do like the whole montage itself, because, I know that you're not going to put a lot of, fearful moments that Molly had to go through in literally a 15-minute episode, unless you actually do have all the moments compiled in one montage. So the montage actually works here. The whole musical number actually works. I'm okay with what I saw, except the Molly kiss. It's like, why would you put the Molly kiss right here? Can we at least have an episode where you actually get to see Molly and Ollie kiss romantically, not forced?
Seriously. Aside from the Molly kiss, I felt that the montage scene was still very well done, despite the Molly kiss.
Yeah, but again, I'm a Molly. I love Molly and Ollie, but you just had to ruin it with the whole kissing part. I'm like, why?
It only slightly ruins the montage. It doesn't completely ruin it, but yeah, it's sort of like a black eye of it.
Pretty much, and I kind of didn't like it. But so here's the thing: Fearless Molly's still around, even if I feel like when you see the whole montage, the whole Fearless Molly becomes a little bit out of control, considering how she's doing everything, and it kind of gets ridiculous, right? Where she just juggles.
She juggles chainsaws. She juggles chainsaws.
Scared of heights, scared of clowns, scared of pretty much any dangerous item there. even through closet spaces or stuff.
Yes. Do not be scared of Molly. Oh my God, look at Fearless. This is a Fearless Molly. This is this is scary Molly right there. This is scary Molly.
No, because the whole scene here was Scratch was gonna get cereal, and when he opened a clock, we opened one of the cabinets. Molly was literally stuck in there. Well, it's not even stuck in there. She's just more hey, What was it?
She was getting ready for Scratch to open up the door.
Yeah, she was just no. She was just doing the fear of like closed spaces. So she ends up doing a really good job not being scared of closed spaces.
And so after that scene, look at Molly feeling all confident right there. It's just seriously, F.O.N.N.A Molly is best Molly. Like, F.O.N.N.A Molly is actually really badass when you look at her.
The way I see it, yeah. I mean, it kind of sucks that we have to see a day of her just pretty much being fearless. But, oh my God, I feel like the whole kind of climactic thing is like, oh, she just ate a spider to now doing a really dangerous stunt.
Yeah.
And that's what she actually did. She was actually going to fly herself away across from Brighton, literally with a cape saying "And Happy Brighton." So I don't know what's going on with Molly, but that's a crazy thing that she did.
Yeah, as time passes by.
Oh, speaking of crazy, yeah, crazy, like crazy. Okay.
Please clip those exact images because you're going to need those for memes. Like these are so memeable, like I said. So pretty much as time passes by, like the more time passes by, the more dangerous, more fearless action that she commits.
I'm seeing like the trend of like how fearless Molly becomes. Like she becomes like a casual, fearless person about going into the dentist to becoming like a freaking like stuntman or a crazy woman.
She becomes from lawful fearless to chaotic fearless.
Yeah, and chaotic fearless it is. That face is really creeping me out. I'm not gonna lie.
Because it further emphasizes the chaotic right there.
Exactly.
The chaos part.
So the whole stunt was that he was gonna catapult himself across Brighton with that whole cape. Crazy for Molly to do. So the thing now is that obviously this is a dangerous stunt. You don't want Molly to die from all of this. You don't want her to become a ghost now because of this.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing is that as much as we want to see Ghost Molly back, we don't want her back like that. That's not the way we had in mind. Okay.
Yeah, and so Scratch decided to just pretty much do the begging plea. Pretty much begged Molly, say like, "Don't do this, please." Yeah.
And then of course, she does. You think that she would agree to this? Like, she does at first say, "Okay, I'm not gonna do it. You're right." But then it actually turns out that the biggest reveal is.
Well, there's a thing. He did this, by the way. So he pretty much like stalled for time. Because the thing is, like, he thought that it was over, like, the time it's already past 24 hours, the whole entire day. So you're expecting that, Molly would be fearless. Would pretty much be back to her old regular self, not being fearless anymore. And this whole wholesome moment happened. But, right, But
it actually turns out that Scratch's watch actually runs fast.
Yeah, 15 seconds fast.
50 seconds fast.
And in that 15 seconds, Molly's doing her stunt. Oh, no.
So, it turns out that Molly's F.O.N.N.A phase has not ended yet. Like, she actually fooled Scratch so that she can actually, do this herself without any interference. Yeah. And it actually worked.
It worked for, like, the whole 15 seconds itself because she actually did do her mission of actually going through Brighton and actually saying, "And Happy Brighton." But remember, 15 seconds is only 15 seconds. So literally when it hits 0, Molly's becoming the old kitty cat that she was.
Yeah, a scaredy cat.
Yeah, she became a scaredy cat, and she's falling. Guys, what are we gonna do? Is she going to die like at the end of the episode? But not the case because we get to see Scratch actually rescue her.
Yeah, in superhero style, by the way.
So like this whole entire like sequence of like Molly just becoming fearless and trying to like launch herself. Your thoughts on like what happened in these like chaotic scenes that happened?
My God, talk about going from 0 to 100 in terms of fear. Like as you see her flying across the air, you pretty much see her like in those last 50 seconds, like flying mid-air, all confident and fearless. But then when those 15 seconds hits, boom, she goes from 0 to 100. And then when she puts on the scaredy cat face, that her fear has come back, and she's fearful of her life now.
She is fearful of her life that she actually coined a term, FOAT, fear of appropriate things. I don't have the trademark, by the way. I don't know why the trademark came in. But yeah, I mean, looks like Scratch rescued Molly, but yeah, and Molly had to apologize to Scratch considering that Molly was pretty much acting like a jerk, a fearless jerk to say.
Yeah, so you're pretty much... So fearless Molly, instead of falling to her death, thankfully she fell on a pile of leaves.
Thankfully, she did. But the other issue that happened was that, the only problem that happened with this, though, is that she actually ended up chipping her own tooth from the whole fall.
Oh my god. No. We don't need another chipped tooth character in a Disney TVA show.
Oh
Just
my god.
no.
No, we don't need another chip whistler. Literally, when I saw this picture of Molly, I was like, oh god, we have another chip whistler here.
Molly, go to the dentist immediately. No, we don't need reminders of Chip Whistler.
Yeah, and she did end up going to the dentist. Again, she was the scared Molly that she was. But this time, no curse on her. So she went inside. She was able to actually go inside, literally become brave.
Yeah. Now, what I love about this scene is that it demonstrates how, bravery isn't really the absence of fear. Bravery is pretty much going through what you need to go through, with fear, not letting the fear get to you, not letting the fear let you give up. So that's what we see from Molly when she runs to the dentist going, I'm brave, I'm brave, I'm brave.
Yeah. So she was able to becoming brave, and it looks like she ended up getting that dentist appointment working, and I think she fixed her tooth from that, so that's great. But then we did have one extra scene here where we get to see Sharon thinking about Scratch cursing her to become a better rock star. What are your thoughts on having Sharon be cursed out of all places?
I'm just honestly, honestly, when I heard Sharon becoming a rock star, I'm just like, I can somewhat picture that, because there are times where Sharon has let out her wild, mischievous side, including a past episode we talked about. So I could see her doing that. I actually want to see an episode dedicated to that.
Yeah.
But oh my God, Scratch's the scene is hilarious, because he's pretty much saying what we're thinking at this point. It's like, oh, this family, unbelievable.
Yeah, they would do whatever it takes to get the easy road, I would say. I mean, I love the fact that in this last scene where you get to see Sharon being very desperate about it.
Yeah, and Sharon even said, hey, I don't like the word never. It's too final.
Well, nonetheless, that's how the episode ends, and that's how F.O.N.N.A the episode was. Was this really something that actually leads towards the story of the show? Absolutely not. I actually do think that this actually was a pretty good episode, better than the episodes that we talked about previously.
Yeah, while there are some flaws to it, F.O.N.N.A overall is a good watch. Once in a while, F.O.N.N.A was a good filler episode. Not great, but worthwhile.
I still say this is actually something that I would fare to become in the average to say. Not like what we said before when it comes to the previous episodes.
Yeah, because at least this has a nice message to it. The message of, fear is sort of an important emotion, but there are times where you kind of have to overconquer yourself.
Exactly. So I would say it's an episode that we expected. And it's an episode that I thought that was actually pretty good, just to see a different side of Molly, because you get to see that she kind of gets scared sometimes here and there. But seeing a fearless Molly just makes you think maybe we should see more of her like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if we actually got to see F.O.N.N.A Molly again. That'd be something. Yeah. I know it lasts 24 hours, but imagine if F.O.N.N.A Molly somewhat came back, because we did see Millie, the blue, where she disguised herself as a blue hair. She came back.
Okay, yeah, true. Well, who knows? I mean, we only have 2 episodes left, so...
why does it have to end so soon?
I know. Unless season 3 gets announced, come on, Rosamund McGee fans.
I know. Like I said before, this show needs a season 3.
Yeah, or else it becomes one of the worst shows I've seen. Anyways, move on to Game On. So this episode here is pretty much Daryl making an esports team, and for him to get an esports team, he needs to recruit a couple of players like Libby and Molly, for them to pretty much have an esports team work together so that he can actually get his PE credits done.
Yeah, and of course the episode starts with Daryl being sent to the principal's office again. No surprise there.
Look, we already know Daryl's a troublemaker and stuff, but this is towards more like you haven't fulfilled your credit for PE. What kind of sports do you want to do? That's what the principal was saying.
And then, of course, that's when Daryl says esports. In other words, electronic sports. In other words, video games.
So are you in that? You're kind of in the majority that you would love to be what Daryl's doing, right?
Oh yeah, as a gamer myself, I 100% agree with what Daryl is saying, because when it comes to teamwork and cooperation, it's not just physical team sports. It can be applied to esports as well, especially with stuff like League of Legends, Super Smash Bros, and all that stuff.
Yeah. esports wasn't that popular back in the day. You know, when we were in college, when we were in high school, you know, that kind of thing. Now it is. So it kind of hits me that the fact that like esports teams can be happening in a high school and it can work out towards your PE credit, I guess.
Yeah, honestly, I wish that I had lived in a time period where that actually was the case, because I would have signed up for an esports team in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I don't even know like if our old high schools ever had an esports team, but if you have one, if you love video games, join it. But yeah, Daryl decided to actually make an esports team for the Brighton for the school, and the thing is that for him to do it, he needs to have some teammates. So Daryl ended up recruiting Molly. She ended up recruiting Libby, and I do love this part here where we get to see Libby like become her like inner warrior herself.
Well, you know, she's read her, you know, fantasy novels and all this stuff, so yeah, of course that she would go that route of, you know, riding a great giant turtle while having a sword and shield.
Well, that's kind of her imagination, though. But you know, when it comes to her in video games, she's definitely down for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you also get to see Daryl. Apparently, Scratch cannot play, considering he's a ghost, and it's gonna be weird when a ghost plays a video game the same.
Okay, I want to talk about Scratch in this scene because his characterization in this feels really off to me. Because in this particular scene, he pretty much acts like a petulant little bratty child who wants to fit in with his big brother and his group of friends. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, that is not Scratch at all. Sure, he may get insecure now and then, but I don't remember him being this needy, this whiny, especially over playing a video game.
I'm very sorry, but like, why would you make? I know Scratch is supposed to be an ignorant ghost. Like he's just like a mean ghost. He's like doesn't care about stuff here and there. But this one he really cares about, and apparently he just starts saying like, "I want to play a video game now," you know, that kind of thing. And I'm like, this is definitely something out of character for Scratch. Like you never expect him to actually whine about a small thing like this.
Like honestly, if I were to write Scratch in this episode, I would have him scoff and then be like, video games. Just like you and your living beings and your video games. So it's just I'll go do something else.
It's like Small Valley Farm.
and then I would have had Molly said, but you play Small Valley Farm, and Scratch's like, I don't remember that.
Oh my god.
See, that's how you write Scratch. That's how you do well. And then have a B plot where it's pretty much Scratch doing, once again, chairman ghost things.
Not a whiny like little ghost himself. So I just felt that was just absolutely out of control. I mean, out of character for Scratch. Out of character. Yeah. Well, nonetheless, Scratch cannot play, but Molly has a plan where like Scratch will like possess half of Molly's body, and they're going to play together. Yeah. How do you like that plan?
It's really stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah, so they're going to work together apparently.
Like, are you kidding me? You like the way they incorporate Scratch into this by having her take over Molly's, you know, other half of the body. It just feels like a forced way to incorporate Scratch into the plot.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, like I think this episode didn't really do much when it comes to it, but we'll explain more later. I got a lot of issues when it comes to this. Anyways, so they are so the esports team, Daryl, Libby, and Molly, they're all going to play this one game, apparently an old game called the Fizz Whiz Emporium. Kind of feels very, Willy Wonka to say? Yeah,
it's Willy Wonka.
Feels very Willy Wonka to say.
Yeah, it's pretty much not only that, but it looks like Willy Wonka if he was an avatar. Like, it's a combination of, you know, the Na'vi avatar and Willy Wonka. Because, look, he's blue. He's blue.
I guess so, if you want to put it that way. So they play this one video game, and the thing is that before they actually play the game, they do go through this little musical montage where we get to see, you know, them putting up their characters and stuff. I do want to say this, though, like, while they were building their characters, while Libby, Daryl, and Molly were building their characters, customizing their characters, there's a lot of references that can be out there, by the way. I mean, do you see that one right there? That looks like
a Princess Peach. Yeah. Yes. When I saw this exact image, I squealed because I'm a huge Mario fan, and so when I saw this, I was like, yes, Mario Easter egg. Oh. But it's not just Mario that's an Easter egg. There's also more that we're going to talk about.
There's like literally hairstyles for Daryl, Molly, and Libby. Did you notice?
I saw Molly right over there, and I saw Libby over there.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, so you can also get your own, like, hair right there and spend $500 on it. We do end up getting to see Libby as a 8-bit character. She looks like that one princess from that one movie, Hooray for Mollywood.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
And also, there's also more Easter eggs I'm going to cover, like including the hat headwear and the swords. So I noticed that one of the swords actually looks like one from Final Fantasy, Cloud Sword.
And you also get to see the Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts, if
Yes.
you notice that as well.
That one too. Like they do their best to hide it well. It will just show how Bill and Bob they pretty much make this little Easter egg to pretty much make the gamers happy. And yeah, as much problems I have with this episode, like the Easter eggs, like and all that stuff. When you look at the episode as a gamer, it is a treat to watch.
So yeah, I mean, I do love the references here to at least give out the gamers that, hey, we know that you guys would probably love all these little tidbits that will happen in this one particular episode. So when they went to this whole like customization part, I was just like, cool. You end up actually putting out these like amazing weapons and hats and like hair and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. In this particular scene here, we get to see Molly struggle with Scratch and trying to like customize her character. Apparently that ghost backpack is what Scratch is looking for.
Well, yeah, because it's a ghost backpack, so.
And on the other hand, Daryl knows his stuff, so we end up getting a 8-bit Daryl. An 8-bit Daryl.
Yeah, look at 8-bit Daryl. He definitely looks like a Street Fighter. When you look at the headband,
does, yeah,
the headband and the outfit,
more like a spy to say, because he's like one of those like people in the jungle to say, you know,
or more like a
things.
karate spy. It's a combination of a Karate Kid and a spy.
I say so. Sure, I don't know. So after all the customization is done, they're ready to play the game. All of them go into the Fizz Whiz Emporium, and the first mission is to pretty much make that same soda. Make the same soda recipe that the Fizz Whiz is working on.
Yeah, and when you look at the level design, it is just, you know, like I love that they pay tribute to like the 8-bit games, because there are some indie games that come out in which they do look 8-bit. So I did see what Bill and Bob were trying to do when making the video game 8-bit.
Yeah, and I really do actually like this whole episode. I mean, the whole entire episode, most of the episode has been 8-bit. Like, okay, I understand you're trying to go back to the old retro days of, like, you know, going into 8-bits and stuff. Like, you know, the old retro, like, SNES games and things like that. But I was just really shocked at, like, how they can animate it pretty well. Like, yo, I didn't know that 8-bit can become a really good animation for an episode.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, is that, like, it really does pay tribute to the retro gaming, and not only that, but the graphics themselves look really great. The graphics themselves look really great, and especially the tubes and the pictures.
Yeah, everything looks great, to be fair. But here's the other issue that comes with this esports team. They don't know how to work as a team. So you get to see Daryl pretty much going up and down, doing all these tubing stuff, but everybody else is really screwing up.
Yeah, rather it be Molly and Scratch struggling to pretty much fuse together, or Libby pretty much interacting and being nice to an NPC.
Although, to be fair, that actually is a helpful hint. I mean, you may be talking to an NPC, but who knows? It could be good at the end.
Well, what I like about this is that it really does show Libby's sweet nature does flourish, you know, everywhere, whether it be in a video game or real life.
And we also get to see, like, was it Molly and Scratch continuing to, like, bicker when it comes to actually, like, doing controls and stuff. There's a reason why you get to see, like, this one particular scene where it's back in real life, and you see Daryl getting frustrated, Molly being like, what am I doing? It's not
Molly,
really good. It's not really good for an esports team to be disorganized.
Molly, I understand you want Scratch to feel included. I get it, but there's a wrong way to do it. Right way to do it, wrong way to do it. This is the wrong way.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. So nonetheless, they do end up actually getting the recipe right. All by Daryl, not by anybody else, unfortunately. But we do have to go into another level where it's more of a platformer level, where you have to like go through obstacles in order for you to go into the next level of the Fizz Whiz Emporium. Again, the team is not doing well. You get to see Libby talk to an NPC, and you also get to see, well, actually an attack, which, you know, Scratch and Molly was able to work together with.
Yeah, when you look at the level design as a whole, it really does look distinct. It looks different from the previous level, and like with the previous level, they really do nail the traps and tricks and stuff like that. But unfortunately, the team still continues to struggle, and of course, you know, Daryl is still at risk on losing the bet.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, again, they were bickering. Was it Scratch and Molly are currently bickering, to say the least. Look, Daryl is just absolutely pissed, and I'm not surprised about this. That Daryl would be in a state of frustration where he could continue to be like the one person to do everything. So he ends up actually like putting Molly and Libby in bubbles and letting pretty much Daryl do everything.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this, by the way?
Honestly, I would have done the same thing because, Daryl's right about, the three other players like being dead weight, which, by the way, is an insult to Scratch. It's actually an offensive word to use on Scratch because, well, he's dead.
Yes.
So I do like where they went with this. So yeah, so Daryl pretty much decides to go flying solo, and it does seem to work at first, but then you're gonna find out later on. Well, you'll find out later on whether or not it actually comes back to backfire at him.
My issue is that would you do the same thing if you were an esports team?
Like I said, since I am a gamer, I would have done the same thing. So
really. What if I just was? My thing is like I want to work together as a team when it comes to esports. Obviously, that's how you win games. You can't just be all by your solo,
And the thing is, but here's the thing: Daryl has a very important bet. In that he's trying to get out of playing turnip ball, because if Daryl loses the challenge, then he has to, stop playing video games and instead be in a turnip ball team. And let's be honest, Daryl will not do well as a turnip ball player. So there's actually something at stake here.
I get that point, but I mean, still, you can have Molly and Libby try to do something instead of like ruining your life and all. Either way, when he was doing these whole levels, he did end up losing lives too.
And that's what I mean. Like, when Daryl loses lives, he does come to realize in the end that maybe teamwork, does help him in the end after all.
Yeah, but it's a lesson that he's going to learn eventually, because he can't just be all about him just going through all these levels and stuff. Well, nonetheless, he did end up actually, like I said, losing lives was one thing. He did end up actually passing the level, and it turns out, even without Molly and Libby, he's doing pretty well, I guess. It all works out. Maybe.
Yeah, like I said, it's from what we've seen so far, it seems to have worked out for him.
So now we get to see the final level here, where we get to see the Mr. Fizz Whiz himself literally drink a bottle of his his soda, and it turns out to be the boss of the entire map.
And look at the way the boss is designed.
Yeah, like a lizard or something?
And a terrifying lizard, like a big bad lizard. And then look at the scale of, the villain in comparison to our heroes. My God, like the scale of this, like big, like one big one versus three small ones.
Yeah, so it's definitely a big, gigantic, like, boss himself. And you also do realize that it actually is the principal who was behind the whole thing.
What a plot twist, am I right?
Actually, I thought that was pretty sick. Like, you thought it was just one little, like, a person who's just a boss, like an NPC or something. But it turns out to be him, the principal, turning out to actually play, like, face off against these three.
Yeah, it turns out, like, he was the Wiz the whole time.
Yeah, what a twist.
What a twist.
Again, what are we going to do? Apparently, Libby continues to talk to NPCs. Scratch and Molly are doing their attack, which is technically working.
Yeah, it really is.
And, this is not good, considering that Daryl is about to be on its last life. And also, by the way, I didn't put up any of these screen caps here, but Daryl's doing most of the work also.
Yeah, Daryl's pretty much carrying the team.
Yeah, and it turns out it's not working, considering that he's literally about to die.
Yeah. Rip Daryl.
That is until Molly and Libby decided to actually work together with him.
That is, like, after Daryl apologizes.
Yeah, after Daryl apologizes, it's like, okay, now you actually know how important teamwork is?
Yeah, now Daryl learns a very important lesson in the end, and because he learned his lesson to apologize, of course, they accept his apology, and then they go on to defeat the final boss together.
Yep, and yeah, throughout this last couple of scenes, we get to see, Daryl become the distraction of Scratch and Molly literally attacking the lizard. And then, thanks to Libby's NPC talk, literally all the NPCs from the game are attacking the boss. And I'm like, that is a really smart strategy that Libby has done.
That really does show kindness goes a long way, even in a video game.
Yes, this is why I love Libby. She's that one person who'll probably be, like, really helpful in the end, but we're thinking that's probably something that's kind of dumb. But lo and behold, it actually worked out for her.
My God, Libby interacting with the NPCs is really cute, and I like how that little scene of her interacting with these blue things actually has a payoff in the end.
Yep, and it paid off in the end where they're all attacking them at once. To say the least, they're doing a really good job together. And he is defeated.
Yes, and so Daryl and his team, of course, beat the game and like cue the end credits, not end credits of the episode, but the end credits of the video game.
Although, yeah, the end credits of the scene. But remember, they also did have like this little dance that they did together, which I thought was pretty cute.
Yes, that little dance is really cute.
So they did a whole victory dance at the end to know that they've won, and at the end. In real life, they also won.
They also dance in real life. They also dance in real life and in the video game.
So in the end, was it the esports team won? Daryl will not be playing. Was it turnip ball? And apparently, this actually was a lesson from the principal to Daryl to work together as a team, which worked out in the end.
Which was the whole point of him like accepting the video game challenge in the first place, was to give Daryl a lesson. But Daryl's personal victory, not having to play turnip ball.
Yeah, that was his. Again, he still hasn't learned. That's Daryl for you.
Yeah.
And then in the end, we also get to see a scene where Molly just literally dances at the end. And I'm like, wait, why?
Cute.
Is that supposed to be like the way to end an episode?
It may be random, but come on, let's be honest. It's, Molly's dances are always fun to watch.
It is true, but it was more towards like Scratch and like Molly just dancing a lot, just dancing with the vibe to say.
And plus, Scratch is getting annoyed by Molly dancing. He's just like, what is this you're doing?
Anyways, yeah, so that's pretty much the whole entire episode. Again, nothing about the story, which I'm kind of really now questioning what is going on with the Ghost and Molly McGee. Are we just getting some random fluff before those final 2 episodes, considering that we have a Jinx episode coming up next and the end after that?
The end, question mark.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's not leading towards another continuation with the end.
Well, here's the thing. It kind of depends on how you look at it. As a Ghost and Molly McGee fan, yeah, the episode, not so great. In fact, it's kind of weak. But as a gamer, you will love this episode.
It's just a gamer episode. For all the gamers who are out there, this is definitely a game episode for you. But no, this is not really what was important when it comes to the story of the Ghost and Molly McGee. This is just more of like, this is a Daryl episode. Daryl wants to play video games in order for him to get out of a bet. You get to see Molly and Libby become like support characters for Daryl, and we all get to see the episode in 8-bit, which to be fair was really nice. Like, I love the whole change of animation when it comes to just the regular animation you see in the Ghost of Molly McGee to 8-bit animation, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, the 8-bit animation does pay tribute to like the arcade, the NES and SNES, like all these like retro games. Like, they really capture the 8-bit part beautifully.
Somebody in our comments have said, what is your favorite SNES game?
Super Mario World, good sir.
That is one of my favorites too, SNES. Super Mario World. I forgot like some of the other. I mean, Yoshi's Island was also one too.
Yoshi's Island's also up there as well.
Yeah.
And the Donkey Kong Country trilogy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, really good games, by the way. And it kind of reminds me of that, again, with the whole 8-bit stuff that was going on in this episode.
It also helps that the Easter eggs do help pay homage. It's like a reference to video games like Mario and Final Fantasy.
Indeed.
And Kingdom Hearts.
All right, so the next episode that's going to come out for the Ghost of Molly McGee will come out until 2024. Oh, sorry. No, sorry, I forgot. We do have a Christmas episode coming out for the Ghost of Molly McGee. It's coming out this weekend as we record. It's a Christmas episode, and I think something after that. But it is going to be referencing to holidays. And again, we have another Christmas. We already had a Christmas episode already for the Ghost of Molly McGee. Now we have a second one.
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on another Christmas episode for Ghost of Molly McGee?
Yeah, I will say that it is going to be interesting seeing another Christmas episode after we just got a Christmas episode recently. But then again, a lot of cartoons do tend to have multiple Christmas episodes, not just one.
I mean, Loud House does definitely have a lot, but I mean, if you're only having 2 seasons of the Ghost of Molly McGee, we do need another Christmas episode.
I would say that instead of another Christmas episode, you could have had an episode dedicated to, the main plot of the episode.
Well, who knows if this actually would have some main plot, like, parts in this episode. But again, like from last from the last review that we've done for the Ghost of Molly McGee, nothing impacting the story, like for these episodes. So it's like, what are we doing here? Are we really going to continue on with what is happening? What are the questions that still need to be answered for the Ghost of Molly McGee? Because there's not a lot there's not much time left before the show ends,
Yeah, the problem is that like the lore still leaves a lot to be desired. There are still some, aspects, there's some world building that the lore needs to build upon. And that's why I say Ghost of Wanda McGee desperately needs a season 3. Not just because we want one, but it needs one.
You need that announcement quickly, or else this show could probably not do well in the end.
Oh, no. It's not going to be another Amphibia or Owl House if that's the case.
I really hope not. Oh my god. I mean, I really hope it doesn't become like one of the bad episodes because, one of the bad shows considering that it could be at that level of Amphibia and the Owl House, but it's not looking at it right now.
No, I mean like when you release a season 3, you have the chance, you have the opportunity to make it as epic as the other two.
Yep, but we'll see how it goes. Ghost of Wanda McGee, right now, currently in a state of like limbo to say. Because it's not looking great, it's not looking good. Sorry, it's not looking bad, but it's not looking good too. So
it's pretty much it's kind of in trouble right now.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, we'll again review those new episodes coming out this weekend on the next episode of the Anination Podcast. But until then, that's it for our episodes reviews of The Ghost in Wanda McGee. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's continue on with more news about animation here.
All right.
You put this recently, Omid, about this brand new movie called Chicken Run: Dawn of the Nugget. This new trailer. So a new trailer came out. It's a 2-minute trailer about this movie called Chicken Run: Dawn of the Nugget. It is a sequel to the original Chicken Run movie that came out literally more than 20 years ago. So Omid, first things first. What were your thoughts on the original Chicken Run movie?
I adored the first Chicken Run movie. I consider it to be one of my favorite animated movies, period. Because of the fact of how, like the animation, the claymation is very well done. It is stellar. And also, when you look at the plot, it's pretty much an allegory to World War II based on the fact that it takes place in a prison camp. Like sort of thing, like a sort of like scary prison that the chickens want to escape from, because the stakes are really high, because if they don't escape in time, they get turned into chicken pies. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty much they got to escape or they're dead.
Yeah, and the thing is that this movie, to be fair, like this movie is just a movie that came out 20 years ago, and this movie I really didn't have like much thought when it comes to the movie. Like when you look back at like old movies, like for example Shrek, those are stuck into your mind. Old Disney movies like Little Mermaid and Aladdin, those are pretty much stuck in your mind. So you know how those movies are. Chicken Run was kind of like I watched it and I'm done. I don't know how you can continue to remember this movie.
I think it's because like I've had fond memories of it when I was a kid, so I would watch it like over and over.
Really?
It was my go-to movie personally.
Yeah, my thing is that it's just a movie. It did have a good plot where like chickens need to escape from a farm or else they are going to be food.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was actually a pretty fun thing to see, but it wasn't really like the best like movie to see. Like in my judgment, my judgment is like this is not. It's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie, but I've seen better. Aardman did make Shaun the Sheep. They made
Wallace and
Gromit.
So yeah, Aardman has been on a roll.
Well, recently with those movies, but not with Chicken Run. We haven't seen Chicken Run in forever, so it's like, what happened to a possible sequel or something?
Yeah, the last I've heard from Aardman, they pretty much recently made a Shaun the Sheep sequel, which I have yet to see.
Yeah, I don't watch Shaun the Sheep. I know that Shaun the Sheep was literally shorts that were showing on Disney Channel.
Yeah, I did see the first Shaun the Sheep movie. I thought it was cute, but it's not really something I would go back and watch over and over.
I think everybody knows about Wallace and Gromit, because those were classic like films that Aardman did.
Oh yeah, they really were classics, especially with Gromit being one of the best cartoon dogs.
And while Wallace is becoming dumb and Gromit has to like help him out. That was some good films. Now, again, we have a brand new movie coming out, and the trailer did show what's most likely going to be in the movie. Trailer starts off by showing a peaceful life with the chickens. They were pretty much escaped from the farm. Definitely paradise for the chickens. How happy were we that we saw the chickens living these peaceful life?
Oh yeah. When I look at the peaceful life of Chicken Run, I think to myself, they've earned this. They really have earned this for all the times, the days that they have suffered in that, godforsaken hellhole of a Tweety's farm. Like, they've been working day and night, laying eggs and all that stuff. Like, and getting fat because they eventually get axed, like they get decapitated, and they've been through hell, and this is the paradise that they've been aiming to fight for. And so when you look at this, you especially when you watch the first movie, you think to yourself, you're glad that they have lived their lives, because that with all the planning, the scheming, and going through tooth and nail to escape from that farm, this is the lifestyle they deserve.
It's been 20 years since I've seen the movie, and all I remember is that this person with the pop sucker gun is... Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, this person with the pop sucker gun is like one of the main characters. Same with the chicken with the green feathers.
It's Ginger and Rocky.
I forgot their names. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in Chicken Ron Don of the Nugget, of course, they live their peaceful lives. And then we see the characters old and new returning. With the old, you've got Ginger, Rocky, Fowler, Babs, Mac, and all the others. And, it's good to see them back again after over 2 decades.
Yeah, over 2 decades instead. Now, but here's the thing. There's brand new characters that are in this as well. They even had a daughter, and her name is Molly. Molly. Wow, really?
Yeah. Molly. The little hen, her name is Molly, and from what I've seen,
I did want to point out the fact that we just reviewed Molly McGee, and we have a Molly character in this movie.
Yeah, that is a bit of a coincidence.
Anyways, your thoughts on this Molly person, because it feels like she's an adventurous young chicken.
Yeah, so from what we've seen here, from what we've seen in the trailer, she really does look the part of being this, happy-go-lucky, adventurous, bubbly sort of hen. Like she looks like a happy hen. Like it's not like anything bad's gonna happen to her, right? Right?
So yeah, that's where the movie comes in, and who knows if her adventures would actually end up getting her alive or dead.
Yeah, who knows whether or not she'll be a chicken nugget. Hope not.
All right. Now, the first movie was about chickens trying to escape from the farm. This time, however, they're going back to the farm. What are your thoughts about this twist here on the plot for this movie?
What I like about this is that not only is it a reverse plot of the original movie, in which, in the original movie, they try to escape from the farm, but this time around, they're going back to the farm, but it is for good reason. They wouldn't have done this otherwise, but it's because Molly got captured. And because Molly got captured, Ginger and Rocky gathered their group of chickens to go and save their daughter. And of course, when we've seen from Molly's point of view, the farm that she ends up in looks a lot different than the farm that we've seen in the first movie.
It's weird because it feels like a circus from the way I saw that trailer. It looks like Molly was is it like in a fun house or something? Because it's called F.O.N.N.A Farms, and it seems like it's, I don't know, it felt really interesting because the chickens were having fun. She was having fun. It looks like everything looks quite fun to say, but I felt very suspicious because maybe that fun could be like right behind the scenes. A human comes in and starts killing, like axing their heads or something.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing, is that looks can be deceiving. Now, of course, when you look at the fun farmland, you think to yourself, oh, it's a nice little, it looks like a kid's playground. It looks like a kid's center. It looks like an amusement park for the little chickens to play in. Oh, isn't that cute? But there's a bit of a dark truth to it. It turns out that underneath, it's just, a trap. It's pretty much to trap the chickens so that they could become chicken nuggets. So, of course, they wouldn't do this to help the chickens. They're doing this to kill them.
Yeah, I think they're like trying to like hallucinate them, or more like hypnotize them to say like, oh, this is a fun place to be in, until like maybe when they're sleeping, they ended up becoming chicken nuggets.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing, is that much like the first movie, the stakes are pretty high in this because it's, Ginger and Rocky's daughter being in the risk of death. And so they're pretty much on a, time crunch. The chicken squad are in the time crunch to make sure that they save not only Molly, but also Molly's friend, who we see here, like the red character. We see that Molly actually made a friend in F.O.N.N.A Farmland, and I'm curious to see what they're going to do with their friendship.
Yeah, I'm wondering how it goes, but to say the least, I mean, this looks to be quite an exciting film, like the Chicken Run movies that we've seen before. But I mean, again, I have to see again the original Chicken Run and see how that was. Obviously, it was escaping the farm. Now it's actually returning to the farm, so it's more like I know that it's more of a rescue mission to rescue your daughter out of that farm. And we'll see how that goes, considering that there could be some shenanigans and wacky things that can ensue when it comes to those kind of things.
And also another thing too is that, like if you haven't seen the first movie recently, or let's say you plan to see a sequel, like my high suggestion, is to watch the original before watch the sequel, because if you watch the original before to get in prepared in time for the sequel, there are some references that you'll catch, or some continuity that you're going to catch when you look at the second movie and see if there are any, references or continuity from the first.
Well, nonetheless, this movie is coming out on December 15th. Actually, this next month coming up, we get to see it come out on Netflix. So it's going to be quite exciting. I mean, some of those fans who love Chicken Run are probably going to be really excited to see a sequel come out and everything. This is going to be on Netflix, not DreamWorks, which was the thing that kind of like got us here. I was assuming maybe because of those 23 years, they couldn't be able to actually reach an agreement for Aardman to actually make more movies when it comes to Chicken Run. Or maybe because DreamWorks had like a title in dispute, or like maybe they held the title of Chicken Run until like Aardman bought it out, and then Aardman and Netflix started to make a deal where they can actually make another Chicken Run movie.
I think it's maybe because of the fact of how maybe Aardman wanted to put in like Chicken Run for streaming purposes, not really like movie theater purposes. So that's why they pretty much team up with Netflix in order to do this.
Usually when you put it in theaters, it actually gives more revenue than Netflix. So this is a kind of a risky move that Aardman is doing when it comes to just streaming first online.
Yeah, I agree, because when you put it in the movie theaters, then you do get more revenue as opposed to when you put it like direct to streaming.
Right, exactly. So I just hope that this movie ends up doing pretty well. Again, I have to watch the first movie in order for me to actually recollect what happened in Chicken Run.
Yeah.
But again, quite exciting to see Chicken Run finally get its sequel after over 20 years.
I know.
I'm like, come on, you could have at least had one like, upcoming, but I think we're just more focused on other DreamWorks films. I mean, we have Puss in Boots, we have Kung Fu Panda 4 coming out, we have what was it? The Bad Guys. Other originals that DreamWorks was working on that they really pushed Aardman aside and just said, we don't need another Chicken Run movie.
Yeah, because DreamWorks is so focused on other major properties.
On their properties.
On their IPs, in a sense.
Unfortunately for Aardman, I guess, because it's weird, because like they made other films even after Chicken Run. I remember they did a Viking film, if you remember that one.
The Viking one.
It was like they were on a ship. Like if you look back at Aardman's history, they did make a Viking movie.
It was a pirates movie.
Whatever. But
it was a pirates movie.
Nonetheless, it was a pirates movie. That was also an Aardman film. During that time, they could have actually made another Chicken Run movie, but instead they started just making them. They started making their own original stuff.
Yeah, they really did. Like the pirates movie. Not just that. Shaun the Sheep, like we previously mentioned. The other IPs.
Yeah,
the other stuff.
Yeah. Well, now that we can actually get to see Chicken Run again, who knows if the fans are going to come back for it, but it's looking to be promising for Netflix and, Aardman when it comes to Chicken Run.
I agree. And also, Mrs. Tweedy's coming back, just FYI.
We're going to see that farmer girl again?
We're gonna see the farmer villain, yes. It turns out she's come back. That's what we thought, too. It's like, when Mr. Tweedy slammed the door at her, you would think that she died, but no. Maybe she pretty much pushed the door back and she came back or something like that. But yeah, all I gotta know is Mrs. Tweedy's back.
Unless we actually missed on something over there, like in the final scenes of Chicken Run.
Not only that, but she also has new accomplices. So
I'm not surprised. She's running a farm.
So pretty much in the trailer, you don't see Mr. Tweedy anymore. You see different characters working with her, like Dr. Fry.
I don't know who Dr. Fry is.
Dr. Fry is one of Mrs. Tweedy's accomplices, and from what I've seen, is Mrs. Tweedy's new soulmate.
I don't know. I have to watch again Chicken Run, but yeah, I don't know. All right, anyways, let's move on to other brand new news. Now, I did put up this picture of Bob Iger and Frozen, and this is Frozen news. So, Frozen 3 is currently being in the works right now over at Disney, But according to Bob Iger and the recent news that we've been hearing about from Disney is that 4 is going to be in the works as well. Now, it's weird to hear that considering that they made the announcement even before 3 even got released. So I'm kind of wondering, what is the trend happening with Disney considering that they're really relying on Frozen?
Yeah, so I would say that I'm kind of surprised by it because it's it's an announcement we didn't see coming, but at the same time, I'm not. And the reason why I'm not surprised is because, let's be honest, Frozen is a worldwide cultural phenomenon.
It's been such a great movie. I mean, like, it's weird because, like, I love Frozen 1. It was definitely an awesome movie. Frozen 2 was an okay movie. Like, I thought it was okay, but at the same time, it did bring in a lot of money for Disney just because everybody who's anybody loves to, like, sing Let It Go or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've been singing Let It Go for years. Hell, we're probably addicted to Let It Go even now, even today. Well, I mean, I guess until, we don't talk about Bruno came in, but I digress. So pretty much not only is Frozen itself such an amazing movie, but let's be honest, Frozen, the franchise, came out with not just one, but 2 great box office hits. You got Frozen 1, which grossed over like $1.828 billion. Frozen 2 grossed out $1.47 billion. And when you got 2 movies that have made it to the $1 billion mark, of course, it's guaranteed that, they're going to keep continuing to expand upon the franchise, thus they're making more movies.
I was kind of weirded out because I thought Frozen would just be itself, like, that's it. That's the flatline movie. Because, when we look back at, like, all the Disney movies that had sequels, those ended up not doing well. You had a Little Mermaid 2, you had a Beauty and the Beast, Enchanted Christmas, you had a Cinderella 2 and 3. I'm sorry. When I heard about Frozen 2 back then, I was like, do we need it?
And even with the official sequels, like Ralph Breaks the Internet, let's be honest, that movie, very subpar to the original. Honestly, Ralph Breaks the Internet was good for one thing and one thing only, the Disney Easter eggs.
Well, it's more like internet Easter eggs. There's a lot of internet references in that movie.
There's a lot of internet references in that movie, and I felt like the characterization of Ralph and Vanellope was, not nearly as well done, and the story is not nearly as engaging as the first.
I think so too, but the other thing too is, like, again, Frozen 2, I thought it was an okay film, not really like a stellar film like their first one, and I feel like it's always happening for every sequel. Like, you don't need another sequel to think that it's going to get better than the first one, because the first one has always been the better one compared to, like, the sequels.
Oh yeah, Frozen 1 is far superior to Frozen 2, because I'm going to be honest, I was not a fan of the second. Like, honestly, the 2 things that, that I can get from the Frozen 2 is the animation, the soundtrack, of course, the aesthetics, and also the origins of Elsa's ice powers, because ever since the first, I've always been curious how she got the ice powers in the first place. Of course, the world building is fantastic, and that's pretty much where I end my
I don't know about, like, the whole Ice Queen thing that Elsa became. I mean, there's a lot of, like, backstory that came when it comes to Frozen 2, so there's that. And again, we don't even know the story of Frozen 3 or Frozen 4 yet, and they already announced Frozen 4, so I don't understand why we need to get more Frozen. Is it because of the whole moneymaker thing? And I kind of feel like for Disney, it is going to be their big moneymaker, knowing the fact that, like, there's too many people that love Frozen. And
another thing, too, is that we don't even know how Frozen 3 and 4 are going to turn out box office-wise. Because even with Frozen 3, there is that slim chance that Frozen may end up slipping into the $1 million digit mark. And the reason why I say it is because like, some people may get the Frozen fatigue, fast, whether it be during Frozen 3 or rather be during Frozen 4. There's going to be the franchise fatigue.
I kind of disagree with you here because there's too many fans. Okay, look, there's a lot of Disney folks that are out there that still love Frozen. Your kids, like, their families, like, out there that show their kids Frozen and they love Elsa and Anna. So their kids are probably going to be growing up looking at these new movies, and they're probably going to be watching them from time to time with their kids and everything. So I'm assuming that it will be a moneymaker still. I don't think it will. You're saying it's going to go not even past $1 million?
Maybe, just a slim chance. It's a slim chance.
It's going to go probably $100 million.
No, I said it's a slim chance it could stay $1 million, but we all know there's a 90% chance it could be $1 billion because it's still going to be
most likely going to hit more than $1 million. What makes you think it's going to be less than $1 million in the box office?
I mean, I didn't say that it's going to happen for real. I'm saying that there's a small chance, just a small.
I don't think there's a chance that'll only be in the small margin of 1 million. It will probably be like, maybe okay. It's gonna surpass Wish for sure when it comes to their box office.
Yeah, considering how Wish is doing right now, yeah, Frozen is gonna blow Wish out of the water. It's gonna blow Wish out of the water,
probably more than that. And I'm assuming because of everybody who's a huge Frozen fan, they're definitely going to be hitting up probably a lot of money in the box office when it comes to these new sequels coming out. But the thing is, I'm gonna say here about this new Frozen 3 and 4 thing. It will not grow into like 1.4 billion like what happened to Frozen 2. Probably like stay in the $1 billion range and maybe go lower after 4 comes out.
Well, yeah, I think that
I wouldn't say $1 million. Maybe like
not 1 million. I was about to say like close to $1 billion, but still the million mark. I didn't say 1 million, more like 9 million.
You said 1 million in the chat. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's probably going to really be like not a billion, maybe like 50 million. Yeah, probably at the lowest. It is a popular franchise. You gotta look at the whole audience. You can't just be looking at you're thinking it's a small amount of Disney fans. There's a lot of Disney fans out there.
There is a lot of Disney fans, and like I said, maybe I sort of like wrote it wrong or something like that. But I never said it's gonna stay at 1 million. No, it's gonna stay at not like 900 million, like close to $1 billion.
That's what I'm saying. Like
not in the billion,
it won't be in that $1 billion range. It'll probably be lower than that. So like what I've said before, it's gonna go lower than what you're expecting from Frozen 2 to be 1.4. Probably like 1 billion for like 3, and then 700 million for like Frozen. But that's way too much when it comes to like talking about economics right now. Because I'm not an economics major. I'm not gonna say stuff about that.
Yeah, we're not an economics podcast. We're an animation podcast. Yeah, so that's the thing.
But I'm telling you, this is definitely Disney's way of actually getting money back, and it will work. I have a feeling it will work. This is Iger's move. We already know that there's a 3 coming out. When they know that there's a 4 coming out, you'll probably hear a lot of fans saying, "Yay!" But wait. Let's see 3 first.
Yeah. See, that's kind of the thing is that, like, this is all just speculation. This is all just prediction. Like, it's still going to be successful regardless because, well, it is Frozen. But, Frozen 3 and 4, I do predict are going to make slightly less than the first 2. Just slightly less.
Yeah, slightly less. Yeah. I still didn't say, I still didn't know why you even put up the point about $1 million to reach. You said 1 million. I remember you say like it.
No, I said million mark. I pretty much I misspoke and said if I said 1 million, I misspoke. It's going to be much more than that to be sure. But what I'm saying is that it's going to stay in the 900 million, so high millions, like very very high.
Yeah, it's going to probably be in the high millions.
Like I definitely misspoke.
It's probably going to go low. It's probably going to go lower than that 900 million. Like I said, 50 million probably would be like the ceiling that they'll probably hit. It might go higher. But I can solely see Disney really banking off of these new Frozen films. So It could be a smart move for Iger considering that they have massive losses right now in Disney. So maybe this could be like the one franchise that can rescue them out of their dip.
Like I said before, the future is unpredictable. We don't know how much money that they're going to make. Maybe they could make more than the first 2. Maybe they could make a little less. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, exactly. But your thoughts about an announcement saying that Frozen 4 is coming out?
I feel that since Frozen 3 is still in the pre-production era, keep in mind they still have yet to work on the production of the movie. So I feel like it was too early to announce.
Way Frozen too early, 4. I think it's way too early to announce. I know that they were working on 3, but why would you announce 4 when 3 is still in development? Like I don't think they even have like a trailer out for 3 yet. Probably until the end of next year, possibly. So I'm assuming 4 would probably be like in 2026.
Yeah, I feel like it was way too soon to be announced. I feel like you should have waited at least until at least mid-production of Frozen 3 at the earliest.
Right, exactly. Well, yeah. Well, nonetheless, I mean, Frozen 3 is going to be out. Frozen 4 is going to be made. I felt like this was just more towards like having Disney have a positive like coming up. Because
when you announce an upcoming sequel after you haven't even worked on the previous sequel yet, it really does give sort of it gives you an impression that you're pretty much saying to their face, Frozen is our go-to cash cow now. It's our biggest franchise and all that stuff. That's the impression that you get when you hear them announce Frozen 4 is going to happen when you haven't worked on Frozen 3 yet.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. Again, Frozen, it's pretty much their bank. But I feel like Frozen 3 will not be as successful as Frozen 2, which means that I keep saying this too, like, Frozen 2 wasn't better than Frozen 1, yet they surpassed way more. They surpassed in money, like box office tickets, way more than Frozen 1. So it's like, I probably might say the same thing, where like Frozen 3 may not be doing great, but it will probably surpass money-wise in the box office.
Yeah, honestly, and I keep hearing this theory about, Frozen 3 and 4 being, having a two-parter. I keep hearing this sort of this theory. Keep in mind, this is just a theory. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but there's been a theory going around about Frozen 3 and 4 being a two-parter. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's a good question, actually. I never actually thought about that, to be fair.
And see, that's the only way in which a immediate Frozen 4 announcement would make sense, because essentially, when you have Frozen 3 and 4 being a part 1 and 2, you pretty much have two movies work together to make one big epic story.
I mean, it would make sense, but I mean, if they were actually having two separate stories, then yes, it would make sense. Why would they announce a 4 immediately? They could have just put like Frozen 3 Part 1, Frozen 3 Part 2 instead of just putting out 4.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself this, or to avoid confusion, not really, Frozen 3 Part 1, Frozen 3 Part 2, but rather Frozen 3 Part A and Frozen 3 Part B.
Why would you do A and B?
Well, because you already have the numbers, so you don't want to, you don't want to confuse the audience.
I mean, it's like, I was going to say Gross Protocol, Part 1 and Part 2, but there's no number at the end. So.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to have two separate numbers in the title.
I mean, I that's the thing. Like, I would rather have just Part 1, Part 2. They will understand. Yeah.
Sure. Like, honestly, we don't know what they're going to call it. I guess we're just going to call it Frozen 3 and Frozen 4 because that's what they're calling it as of now. But chances are in the future they could change the title. Like I said, the future is unpredictable.
Yeah.
We have seen movie titles change in the course of history. So who knows whether or not they'll keep the titles of Frozen 3 and Frozen 4 or they'll change in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but it is going to happen. There's going to be 2 new Frozen movies coming out, and it could probably make or break Disney, depending on how successful these movies are.
Yeah, so you'll just have to be on the lookout for more information about Frozen 4.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for all of the recent announcements that came out in the world of animation. So let's head over to our main topic here as we talk about how our Thanksgiving was. Now, I look back at like Thanksgiving and we all do the same. I think like most of the families have been doing the same thing. Like we just sit around the table, eat up like Thanksgiving dinner, and obviously talk about Black Friday shopping and things like that. So let's actually talk about our Thanksgiving plans. I mean, like your Thanksgiving plan, what did you do with when you started your day? Like, did you like wake up, watch football or something?
Yeah, what it did was I pretty much woke up and then we pretty much and then I was just chilling in my room watching Thanksgiving specials. I pretty much I watched one of my favorite Thanksgiving episodes, the Rugrats episode, Turkey Came to Dinner.
Dude, that one is a really old one. All I remember from that was more what made you want to watch it again, because it's not even on Nickelodeon or Nicktoons.
No, but it is on Paramount Plus, and that's how I
got to watch it. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. That was a really old episode, I would say.
Oh, and of course, I did play some video games, and then after that, me, my mom, and her boyfriend, we all went to our family friend's place for dinner, and they cook up quite a feast for Thanksgiving. Like you got turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, and then you got the crispy rice, which is fried rice, but we call it crispy rice. And then while we were eating dinner, some of us were watching the big football game, the Niners and Seahawks.
Okay, I wanted to go back to the morning of. You went straight to your day.
Oh, that's because That's because it was pretty uneventful, like during the day.
Well, I mean, the whole entire day for me was more like, I guess we watched football, but at the same time, we're also switching channels between like the Thanksgiving Day parade that was also happening at the same time. And this year's Thanksgiving Day parade actually did have some eventful like floats, eventful like performances that happened. I know anime fans are definitely out there looking for Luffy because I think the hype was all about Luffy, knowing the fact that he's finally getting his own parade float.
Yes, that was one of the things I did during the day was I watched the Thanksgiving parade float, mainly to
were
be
you
on
one of
lookout
those
for
folk?
Luffy.
Were you one of those folks that were just waiting for like Luffy to come out, or?
Yes, I was, but at the same time, I did look at the other parade floats and I thought they were well crafted, they were well put together, like the Bluey one, the Pikachu one. And
yeah, I know. So Bluey was sorry. Like, there were some that were surprising. Obviously, Bluey came out. I think he was chasing like a ball or something, which I thought was pretty cute.
Yeah.
There was Pikachu and Eevee in a sled, which was really cute as well. I think that was the same float that happened last year as well.
And plus, you got other popular IPs like SpongeBob, for example.
Yeah, but then again, SpongeBob is always there for Nickelodeon. So it's him literally just with a Santa hat, and he's just like doing his like I'm ready thing.
Yeah.
Literally just going around New York City in a float like that.
It's a SpongeBob float with Gary on top of him.
Yeah. Now, I know a lot of people were kind of questioning about the whole Luffy float itself. Because the hat was not inflated properly.
It wasn't inflated properly. That was the problem. And when I look at this, I'm thinking to myself, yay, Luffy, we got Luffy. But at the same time, I was like, your hat doesn't look right.
No, there was an issue. I thought, like, when I saw the whole float, getting prepared and all, like, I saw this on Twitter. I saw I saw the float literally just being, like, caged down. Like, it's about ready to go. And then when I saw it live on NBC, it literally had the hat literally just was flat. And I'm like, wait, what happened? So apparently, I don't know what happened.
Maybe it got deflated or something.
Some sort of hole probably came up in that section. And at least the whole balloon was still up. It would be funny if there was like a Barney incident where like the whole Barney float just end up getting torn apart.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing is they be thankful it didn't come to that. At least like Luffy himself isn't deflated, but the hat itself was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, I get to see Luffy. He's floating around New York City, and it turned out to be it turned out to be like an amazing moment where it's just like, I literally just saw him and I took a picture. It's like, total Luffy's there. Oh my god, yes, take a picture immediately.
I did the same thing too.
Take a picture of your TV immediately. It's like, Luffy, yeah.
And especially since this is the year of One Piece, because especially since the Netflix live action series turned out to be so amazing.
Yeah, it turned out to be really amazing. Now everybody's into One Piece. So like everyone's reading the manga, everyone's watching the anime.
Including myself.
I know. And yeah, I mean, like, One Piece, no doubt, definitely needed a float like this. Why not other anime franchises?
Yeah, like Goku from Dragon Ball.
At least he got one, so that's great. We got Pokemon, which is great as well. I'm trying to look at like other anime franchises that need a float. Sailor Moon. Maybe something Sailor Moon like. Maybe they could have a float of her.
I'm surprised.
Not really a balloon, but it's more like a float, like a little magical float that's just going through New York City.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do a Sailor Moon float.
Well, I guess it's not that popular compared to like Dragon Ball Z and One Piece. Yeah.
I guess. You know what? I'm surprised they didn't have a Naruto.
I know. I was thinking about that too. Where's the Naruto float and all?
Or an Ichigo, float.
Well, Bleach was kind of like out of the franchise until recently.
My Hero Academia.
Yeah, I was wondering where
an All Might float.
Where's All Might float would be great, like him doing like the super heroic pose.
Because All Might is the face of My Hero Academia.
Yeah, so like I am here, and he does like the whole thing.
I'm surprised they didn't have that.
I would imagine like a float of like the people in cosplay, we're cosplaying as the My Hero Academia characters. So you get to see a Kudeko cosplayer, a Chaco cosplayer, a Bakugo cosplayer,
a Todoroki
cosplayer there too. So I'm just saying, like, there are some ideas for anime to actually get more represented in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So
yeah, but the anime representation we did get, even if it was very minor, I'm still glad we got anime representation in the float.
Do you remember like the old floats that they used to drive down in the parade?
I don't remember the old floats because I don't watch the parade all that often.
Really? The Fosters had a parade float before for Cartoon Network. And they actually rickrolled the entire audience.
What the heck?
Yeah.
So they actually did that?
So what happened was that they put it up on Twitter, by the way, the whole video that happened like years ago. it's a float of pretty much all the characters of Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. You get to see, Blue. You get to see Blue. You get to see Walt. You get to see Coco.
Wilt, but
Wilt. Yeah, Wilt. You get to see Coco. I forgot their names. Come on, bro. It's a long time. But then, like, the music was playing. You hear to hear them sing, and then the track just ripped off like a scratch.
Oh my god!
And then you hear the Rickroll song.
They actually do
you hear
that.
The Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
I can't believe they actually did that.
They did that, and I was like, oh my god, they got Rickrolled. I loved it. I was like, whoa, what the
And
hell?
I never would imagine Foster's doing that.
Yeah, well, I don't even know what Cartoon Network was promoting back then, but it was the big thing that Cartoon Network did with the Foster's float.
No, but I didn't expect Foster's to Rickroll us, is what I mean.
Yeah, it was a surprise. They surprised people over there in the New York, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. So
then again, the purpose of being Rickrolled is it's supposed to surprise you.
It's supposed to be unexpected. Yes.
Yeah, it's supposed to surprise you.
One more thing. If you remember Hi Puffy Amiyumi, they actually did have a float in the New York in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. That was like a long time ago, back in 2008 and 2009. As a big huge fan of Hi Puffy Amiyumi, obviously I wanted to see the float, and you get to see you see Ami and Yumi in balloons, and you even get to see even the literal band themselves, Puffy Amiyumi, literally performing in New York City too.
Yeah.
So I thought that was absolutely epic. They did it for I think like 2 or 3 years before the show got canceled. So I was just happy to see them actually have a float there, which was awesome. So
very nice. Yeah.
Do we have a Snoopy float? Because I remember that used to be a yearly thing in the Macy's Thanksgiving.
Oh, we still have the Snoopy float. We still have the Peanuts float where it was Charlie Brown, Linus, Sally. Yeah, the Peanuts float, the Snoopy float's still there.
Is it Snoopy and the balloon, or is it Charlie Brown and the balloon?
Snoopy and the balloon. It was Charlie Brown, Linus, and Sally dressed up in as a mascots.
Oh, so it's like they only have it on the car ride, right? Yeah. While the balloon is the
balloon
Snoopy.
it's always Snoopy.
If I remember correctly, there was a Charlie Brown and a football balloon before.
When was that?
A long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got all these popular IPs as parade floats. I'm thinking to myself, I'm kind of surprised they don't have a Mario float, because Mario is a popular IP himself. He's probably the most famous video game IP out there. And plus, this is the year of Mario. We got the Mario movie. Yeah. We got Mario Bros. Wonder, and not to mention we got a Nintendo Direct that is dedicated to a whole bunch of Mario announcements.
So I don't understand why they don't have it. I guess Nintendo is not really dealing with the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade or something.
I guess if there was a Mario Parade float, you probably know that I would fangasm.
I would imagine they would probably do it soon, considering how popular the Super Mario Brothers movie has happened.
Yeah, hopefully they do it in 2024.
Yeah, there's that. But plus, again, DreamWorks also did get represented also in the parade. We get to see Kung Fu Panda in the parade, which was pretty cool.
Yes. I love that Kung Fu Panda representation.
Yeah, and you said about Nickelodeon properties being in the parade. There's also I think Paw Patrol that was there too.
I don't think I got to see Paw Patrol. I think it was around the time when I wasn't watching the parade float. But yeah, the only Nickelodeon I saw was SpongeBob.
But then again, it's SpongeBob for you. It is Nickelodeon pretty much.
It's and this is more of a guy can dream sort of thing, but I wanted to see a Lincoln Loud parade.
I'm waiting for that. I am waiting to see Lincoln actually be a balloon in the parade.
That would be a dream.
If they can actually make it happen. I mean, can you please get rid of? I mean, put SpongeBob there. That'd be cool. But literally, the Loud House is very popular. Exactly. Can you at least have some representation? Maybe a float, maybe a little float of the Loud sisters, literally saying hi, literally waving to everybody.
Exactly, because there was a time where Loud House was more popular than SpongeBob. Keyword being most before SpongeBob took first place again.
Hey, remember they won an Emmy, and that turned out to be the peaking point of the Loud House.
Other than SpongeBob, you have the Loud House, which is the next biggest thing for Nickelodeon. So I'm wondering why they don't do that too.
I don't know about that too, but then again, I'm just questioning Nickelodeon. This is the reason why I don't watch Nickelodeon anymore. I just watch more Disney Channel instead of Nickelodeon now.
Yeah, honestly, the only time I watch Nickelodeon is Loud House. That's it.
Well, either way, we do have a new Loud House episode coming out, So,
yes, we do. And I'm so excited.
By the way, Loud Casa Talks, we're coming back for y'all.
Be on the lookout. Wink, wink.
But yeah, I mean, again, that's a tradition that I always love to do, is watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, because it's always fun to watch. But besides that, of course, there's also the Thanksgiving Day, the football games that are happening also during Thanksgiving. There's also some amazing classics that happen. Of course, the Lions always play on Thanksgiving. Same with the Cowboys that play on Thanksgiving as well. Did you watch any of the games besides the Niners and Seahawks?
I don't think I did, because I'm not really a fan of any of the teams, and plus there wasn't anything in the games that caught my eye in the same way the big game did.
Yeah. Also, by the way, did you actually pick for this week, or were you already eliminated in our pool?
I remember. I think I was eliminated before Thanksgiving. So.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
So it's kind of pointless to me. It's kind of pointless.
I get it. Yeah. So you're just watching the Raiders on Sunday. I get it. Yes.
Yes, and also, like I said, I had other stuff to do. So, but to those who did watch the football games, I'm glad you did. It's just that I only got to watch the big one.
Yeah, you only watched. Well, the big one was even a blowout. I mean, the Niners whooped the Seahawks. So
yeah, and the crazy thing is that in the beginning of the second half, there was a time in which the Seahawks did have that slim chance. Remember that crazy interception?
Yeah, where Purdy ended up throwing the interception, but. It's the 49ers. They end up trying to find a way to win, and lo and behold, they ended up dominating after that. So
yeah, you got your sweet revenge.
It did, and we ended up getting turkey over at Lumen Field. And
yeah,
and that was pretty epic too.
Yeah, it's pretty much ironic when you consider the fact that almost a decade ago the Seahawks won the Thanksgiving game against the Niners, and the Seahawks end up eating turkey in front of Niner fans and Levi's.
I don't want to relive that.
But no, you don't have to anymore. You got your revenge.
I know, but I don't want to relive that. That was 9 years ago, and I remember that clearly because the Seahawks were definitely much more dominant than the 49ers.
So this is more of a what goes around comes around sort of thing.
I guess in this case, but still.
So it must have been a sweet moment for you.
And it was kind of crazy because I had family members. I hanged out with family members who are also Niner fans as well. So we were obviously watching the entire game while eating dinner too.
Yeah, same thing for some of us too. We were eating our dinner while watching the game too.
Yeah. And I love the fact that for when it comes to other games like Cowboys, Lions, I would watch them, but barely, because there's the Thanksgiving Day Parade that was happening during the same time. So unfortunately for the Lions fans, I can't be able to watch your game entirely, but you did win. No, wait, you didn't win. Sorry, Packers beat you. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
What was it? But when it comes to the Cowboys game, and it didn't feel like a really good game to watch, just because the Cowboys are probably going to beat the Commanders, and you can see that from that game.
Yeah, honestly, it was kind of a blowout. The Cowboys blew out the Commanders.
Yeah, they did. It was yeah, it was kind of unfortunate there. But yeah, besides that, I mean, Thanksgiving dinners was also things that came up, and we ended up having a fun time eating dinner, plus watching the games, and also having some bonding time, because we haven't talked to each other for so long. Obviously, want to catch up, see how life is. It's been over a year since we hanged out with each other, so that's the time where we actually rekindle, say hey, I've been getting so many questions to me saying hey, where do you work at? I work at Meta. I'm oh my god, did you see Mr. Zuckerberg? And I'm I have not yet.
Oh my god,
come on, I'm being those questions.
Yeah, it was nice to pretty much reconnect to reunite with my family friends as well. Just sort of their house looks really nice. Their dinner is fantastic. And, they've helped me out recently in the past. So I was glad to spend Thanksgiving with them. I'm glad you did too with your folks. So.
For sure. But yeah, that was pretty much all of our Thanksgiving plans. Now, when it comes to having Thanksgiving specials, there isn't much when it comes to the world of animation. You get to see a lot more. This is why we have a Halloween special, considering that Halloween, there's so many cartoons that talk about Halloween. But when it comes to Thanksgiving, there's not really a lot.
Yeah, honestly, when you look at Thanksgiving specials, they're pretty much a rarity in comparison to Halloween and Christmas specials. Because with Halloween and Christmas specials, there's a whole ton that you can name, off of a library. Whereas Thanksgiving specials, they come in a rarity.
They really do. And like I said, it's weird how we just focus more on other things than the cartoons that they show. I feel like when it comes to the Thanksgiving Day Parade, that's probably the one time we could get to see a little glimpse of animation there.
Yeah.
But then you look at other networks that are providing their marathons while the kids are watching them. They're not really big when it comes to Thanksgiving itself. Maybe Shortsgiving for Big City Greens, but That's it.
Yeah, that's also kind of the major thing. I think it's because like Halloween and Christmas are the more spiritual holidays in comparison to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is more of a laid back, chill holiday about dinner and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when you look at Halloween and Christmas, there's much more to their holidays.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, obviously each cartoon does have their ways of trying to get like a Thanksgiving like special going, and we're going to bring out a couple of cartoons that we thought were good to talk about. Some pretty old, some pretty recent. Yeah. So Omid, you did talk about the Turkey Who Came to Dinner, a Rugrats special. Dude, I haven't watched that in so long. What made you want to watch it again?
It's one of those episodes that sticks out to me because of the fact of how there's so much going on in the episode in a good way. Like there's all these different plots that are distinct from each other, yet they all come together in the end. And basically, you got Stu and Drew trying to watch many football games on their TVs. You got the women plus Howard trying to cook up a Thanksgiving dinner, but they're running short on supply because they can't even get a turkey because the other lady snagged it before Betty could. And then you got Angelica trying to build her own parade float, and then you got the Rugrats meeting a turkey, trying to learn what Thanksgiving is about in their own way and trying to protect the turkey from eating dinner. It's just like it's pretty much all these Thanksgiving a holiday, objectivities. Like it's all these Thanksgiving activities combined into one.
Did they even actually eat turkey at the end? I forgot. I know that turkey survived, but
the turkey did survive, but they ended up eating Reptaro's, the cereal.
So there wasn't really much of a dinner. It's more like, okay, fine, we'll eat cereal for dinner.
Because the message of that episode was that it's not really about, food, football, or parade. It's about spending time with family and friends. And so the ending of the episode kind of is sort of a reference to the beginning of the episode where Dee Dee tells the story of how the Indians and Pilgrims got to celebrate the first Thanksgiving. The Rugrats play the part of playing Indian and then suggest to the adults in their own way that they eat Reptaros together by showing the Reptaro cereal box. The way that, it's sort of like in a similar way to how the Indians would come together with the Pilgrims to celebrate the dinner. I love that nice little touch. Like it goes back to the story.
Yeah, I don't remember the whole entire episode itself. Dude, it's been like more than 30 years or something since that episode aired.
I know. And listen, I don't expect anyone else to remember the episode or even watch the episode in Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I had to research so much about this. So I had to look at apparently there's a book that came out that talked about the Thanksgiving episode. It literally is a Thanksgiving episode in book.
It is. Yeah.
And apparently there's a VHS version of the episode as well. But I just remember seeing Tommy in a Native American outfit, and some sort of shenanigans ensuing, and I know that the turkey survived. That's it.
Yeah, the turkey did survive indeed, and of course, they all spent Thanksgiving happily ever after at the end.
All right.
And also, I actually owned the picture book when I was a kid.
Oh, you did? Do you still have it or not?
I don't.
Yeah, I won't imagine it being torn up already. Anyways, but yeah, that's one Thanksgiving special that came out. I believe Rugrats does so many holiday specials.
Oh, it really does, especially Christmas specials.
I know they did a Christmas one, they did a Hanukkah one, and a Kwanzaa one. So they did all three holidays literally in that timeline. I'm like, yo, what?
Yeah, I think that's what I love about Rugrats is that it pays respect to each and every holiday, not just the big ones like Christmas, but also other ones like Hanukkah and Kwanzaa.
Yeah. And it's great to actually see that. So I don't know what's going on with Rugrats and Classy Supo when it comes to their creators, but I guess they want to do whatever it takes to celebrate all kinds of holidays. Yeah,
and that's what I love about it, how it feels so inclusive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, Rugrats is going to be on the Rugrats Thanksgiving specials on Paramount Plus. So go ahead and check it out if you are curious about that. But one big show that I really wanted to talk about is Big City Greens because they did have their own quote-unquote Thanksgiving special. So they only had one episode, by the way, that kind of reflected Thanksgiving. It's called Big Deal. it is the Greens on Thanksgiving, and apparently what happened was that they didn't have a TV to watch football, so they instead went to the store. And you know what happens at a store on Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah, let's just say that it turns into a store apocalypse fast.
It just became chaotic, and I just love the. I mean, I'm not gonna obviously explain the whole episode in detail, but it's just more of like how Black Friday looks.
Yeah, needless to say, like it's very accurate to how Black Friday is in real life, but there are some cartoon exaggerations to it.
Yeah, I just felt so like like enticed to like what was shown in the episode, considering like it's all about all the customers trying to steal whatever it takes to get the great deal. Literally, I like, for example, like Bill Green getting this fish hook. Oh, sorry, getting this fishing rod that was like really cheap, but a kid wants it, and then he just steals it from the kid. Was it the whole family, the whole Green family fighting another family for a deal? It's like, yo, I guess this is how intense it can get when it comes to Black Friday.
I know it's just, Bill stealing a $5 fishing rod from a kid. It's like stealing a candy from a baby, but worse.
I think it's way worse than that. Yeah,
way worse.
Also, credit out to John Hamm, who actually is the manager of like Price Busters. So it's just the store that was featured in this episode.
Yeah, so he was the one who was basically announcing all these deals just to get the employees to be at each other's throats, like to eat each other.
So to say the least, if you want to see how intense Black Friday can get, especially like back in the days before the pandemic, this is your episode.
Oh yeah, let's just say that it will give you a glimpse as to how Black Friday was back then, before online shopping became a thing.
But it was definitely like a great reflection, and I actually absolutely love the episode. It's like,
me too.
I know you're there to just watch football and also replace your TV, but in the end, you do end up getting a TV, and you also end up getting like bruises and punches here and there. You're fighting for that $1 TV.
For some people, it's worth it. Others, well, when you're in a hospital, you have to pay the bills. Not so much.
That's a different story there.
I also love the part where Tilly was pretty much spilling oil at some of the rude customers, and then she ends up pretty much walking all over them, and then she puts up a smile, like "Bye" or something like that.
Like, happy Thanksgiving, you turkeys.
Happy Thanksgiving, turkeys.
Yeah, it's a great one for sure. All right, but yeah, big deal. Definitely reflected a Thanksgiving episode and a Black Friday episode. So, I never expect Black Friday episodes at all. So I just was surprised that Big City Green creators like the Hoon brothers ended up doing something clever like this. It's Thanksgiving, but there's something else in mind in Thanksgiving too.
Yeah, Black Friday episodes are a rarity. The last Black Friday episode I saw was the Black Friday trilogy from South Park. That's the only other Black Friday episode in a TV show that I could think of.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, great job for Big City Greens to do their part with this. Bless you.
Thank you. And we do need more Black Friday episodes because as much as we love our Thanksgiving specials, it's been nice to give Black Friday some representation.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You also did put up, I don't know, Arnold's Thanksgiving, but this Arnold did have a Thanksgiving episode as well. I don't know much about it. You can explain what Arnold's Thanksgiving was.
Arnold's Thanksgiving was basically this. So Arnold and Helga pretty much have their own crappy Thanksgiving dinners, whether it be, Arnold's family celebrating 4th of July because his grandma Gertie thinks that Thanksgiving is 4th of July for some reason, so they want to...
Well, isn't Grandma Gertie like kind of crazy?
Outfits. Yeah, that's kind of thing. So they want to roll with it, to make Grandma happy. So, of course, you have to put on the, American Patriot wigs, costumes, and all that stuff. And yeah, it's not a good time for Arnold. But Helga has it worse because, because she has to spend, the day with the family, and she's been putting up with so much of the usual, neglect that she gets from her parents, meanwhile praising Olga for the turkey piece set that she made, and also they have to help out Thanksgiving dinner, and pretty much after an argument in which she says, "I'm thankful for absolutely nothing," she gets sent to her room. She decides to run away as well. Both of Arnold and Helga decide to run away, and they pretty much get a glimpse of Thanksgiving and how it's not exactly, a fun-filled Thanksgiving that Mr. Simmons puts on a plate for. It's actually like Thanksgiving actually turns out to be more grim than expected.
Oh, damn. Really?
Yeah. Especially when you see like a boat sinking and, and all that stuff, like the boat sinking and it does this, and the overall look outside is, bleak and all that stuff. And also, there's also a part where, Arnold and Helga visit Mr. Simmons for Thanksgiving. And so you see Mr. Simmons' family Thanksgiving, and it is a complete opposite of Mr. Simmons' play. They are not happy at all. They fight, argue, and, and pretty much munch on the meat and all this stuff. It is just, the play is pretty much what Mr. Simmons wishes that his family Thanksgiving is, but in reality is the opposite. But Mr. Simmons, in his own admirable way, still tries to, bring the family together with his usual, positive and very friendly outlook. And so it inspires Arnold and Helga to go back to their own Thanksgiving dinners, because if he could put up with his crappy Thanksgiving dinners, so can they. And then, Helga's when she returns home, she finds her family is desperately trying to look for her. And when she returns back, they're all happy that she returned, and they celebrate Thanksgiving happily. Meanwhile, Arnold, when he returns, he pretty much finds Arnold's family surprising them with an actual Thanksgiving, not just a 4th of July reincarnation.
Right, of course. It's been a while since I've known about the Arnold Thanksgiving special, but from the way I'm hearing the description, it looks pretty neat. Actually, I see Helga and Arnold actually work together.
Yeah, well, it's more like they meet up and then they go around, trying to find their perfect Thanksgiving, only to realize in the end is that there is no perfect Thanksgiving. There are some Thanksgivings that have their flaws to it, just like, the 3 Thanksgivings I mentioned, but they all have one important thing: family spending time together.
Yeah, indeed. And again, I don't know much about when it comes to Arnold Thanksgiving. It was a long time ago since I've seen it, but it looked out to be quite a classic, to say, especially for you. I think you watched it on Thanksgiving or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's one of those that really stuck to me. It's one of my favorites.
All right, awesome. Now we have to look back at another Thanksgiving special that came out that we both enjoyed.
Yes.
Remember that we both love the Loud House and the Casa Grandes, and it did make sense why they ended up having the loudest Thanksgiving. Which,
yes.
By the way, I know a lot of people. Okay, so this is like a Thanksgiving special, great, but a controversial one.
And that's kind of the thing, is that Loudest Thanksgiving, though it may seem, grand, it may seem like the ultimate crossover between the Louds and the Casa Grandes, unfortunately, it hasn't been getting as much praise as expected.
Because the thing is, first off, it's supposed to be 2 families. Obviously, the Louds and the Casa Grandes are back. I think it's been a while since they both split off into different shows. So the Casa Grandes have their own show, the Loud House have their own show. And now they're back together for a Thanksgiving special. And we're like, yo, yes, finally we get to see them again. But it was not really a greatly built one, considering that they're fighting for, who gets to host Thanksgiving.
My issue wasn't the fighting. It was more the lines up. They had the potential to have each individual Loud interact with each individual Casa Grande. And while there is tits and piece of that here and there.
That was only one little scene at the end of the episode.
I feel like for the most part, the Louds and the Casa Grandes play as an ensemble rather than individual characters.
Right. I just feel like there could have been more interaction when it comes to each Casa Grande is pretty much associated with each Loud. I mean, you see Lenny and Carlota. You get to see Luann and CJ interacting with each other. You see Luna and Hector, literally playing music together. They even put a song at the end. I mean, that's amazing, right?
Yeah, and when you look at this picture, you think to yourself, it's very heartwarming, and it's nice to see all of them together. But as the episode as a whole, it could have been executed better. But on the plus side, we do have a cute little Ronica moment. Punk loser. Yes.
Fans.
That moment just screams Ronikin, and it will live in my head rent free forever.
Because it was their first interaction. Oh, no, it's not really the first interaction. They did the horoscope also before the Thanksgiving episode came out. So it's they're not the first interaction, but it was another Thanksgiving interaction between both of them. So, it's cute to see those two actually, finally interacting for a while.
I think it's what really, what makes that moment so memorable for me is just a moment of how that Punk loser scene, them taking jabs and punches at each other, That's Ronigan.
Yeah.
That's pretty much Ronigan as a whole. And we love it for it because it's a contrast to Lori and Bobby where they're lovey-dovey. Like with Lincoln and Ronnie and they're playful. They mess around with each other. They prank each other.
Like
they
bros.
call each other names.
Yeah, they're like bros.
They're like bros. And that's why we love it so much.
Yeah. Again, like this episode would be great if there wasn't the whole family conflict in this episode. Because it was the point of the episode. Like, what was it? Bobby, was it the Louds don't like it if the Casagrandes get host Thanksgiving or the Louds host Thanksgiving, vice versa. So it's like, why would we have to fight? I would love it if the Casagrandes and Louds would interact with each other more instead of just bickering with each other. Because it's been like, they went to the Louds, they wanted to make better meals, they tell them, here, eat this, here, eat that. They did a stage play together, like, what's the best play? Like, you get to see, like, Lori become the judge and, like, what is it? Get, like, some sort of turkey thing, if I remember correctly.
I remember the Louds did a play.
Yeah.
And I remember the Casagrandes got together and did the...
They did a whole gobble thing, and Lori liked it. And Lori liked it, so I'm like, okay.
And then the Louds looked flabbergasted during the scene. It was like... I love that.
Yeah, and again, more conflict happened. And of course, what happened at the end was that Lori and Bobby ended up going somewhere else instead of being at the Loud residence. And then everybody else went to Flips to pretty much celebrate Thanksgiving there. Again, like, I really didn't like the whole fighting conflict between both of those, both families. But in the end, it was a really awesome time to actually see the Louds and Casagrandes together. So it's an average episode, but I still say this is still a lovable Thanksgiving, like, tradition episode.
Yeah, I will say, like, it's not without its flaws, but all in all, it's not as bad as some people make it out to be. Loudest Thanksgiving, I feel, is, yeah, it's pretty enjoyable, but I wouldn't say it's one of the best.
Yeah, I'd say average. And like I said, more interactions with the Louds and Casagrandes. So if anything, this was one of the first of many Loud Casagrandes interactions. So.
Oh, by the way, Grateful for It All, such a top-notch song.
That's a great song, yeah.
It even got flipped to cry.
Luna and Hector to actually perform together, which is the two musicians of the Loud Casaverse. So.
Another thing too is that it's so beautiful that it even got flipped to cry. If even Flip cried during the song, you got one wonderful song.
Oh yeah. And no doubt, I mean, every Thanksgiving, I love to watch the Loudest Thanksgiving. It's awesome to see. Knock on wood. Let's just hope the Really Loud House doesn't do anything about a Thanksgiving special.
I mean, you could have another Thanksgiving special, but give us more of what we wanted to see.
I said, let's hope the Really Loud House doesn't do a Thanksgiving special. We already have a Christmas and a Halloween special with them. I don't know if we want to do a Thanksgiving special with them.
Oh, yeah. All right. You're talking about Really Loud House.
Yes, I said Really Loud House.
Yeah, when you said Loud House, it's like, yeah, okay, I'm not for Loud House doing no Thanksgiving special. But when you meant Really Loud House, I'm just like, yeah, Really Loud House. Thanksgiving special, I'm open to it because it's a special.
But bring the Casagrandes, please. we want a real life like Casagrandes fam, not Bobby only.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Casagrandes. Like we only see Bobby only. Like Ronnie Ann for some reason doesn't exist in the live action show. Yeah. At least not yet.
Get rid of Charlie, please.
Oh God. Why bring that character into it?
He's going back in season 2, so I don't know why.
I haven't even started season 2, and I don't.
There's no season. No, it's not even out yet. But they already put up episode synopsises of the season 2 episodes. Charlie will be back.
I was about to say I still don't have the desire to watch the second season. I still don't have the desire to.
Oh, well, we already watched the Halloween special. And you thought that was okay?
Yeah, I thought it was okay as far as live action Loud House properties does go anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Christmas one was better than Halloween, but we'll do our own judgment on that.
Yeah.
But yes, if you haven't watched the Loudest Thanksgiving and it's Thanksgiving weekend, please do watch it. It's an amazing, it's a great episode to actually have the two Loud House and Casagrandes franchises meeting up with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, we do have one more Thanksgiving special that we do want to bring up. It's called the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Now, this is a classic that everybody knows. For those who watch it like on cable, they would probably know about the shenanigans that happened during the Charlie Brown's Christmas. Oh, sorry, Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. What was it? All the characters meeting up here and there, sharing a meal, and shenanigans ensue.
Yeah. Needless to say, Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is an instant classic, to put it lightly, and we're going to talk about why.
Yeah, so Yeah, can you explain more about it? Like, I didn't see it actually this year, so I want to know more about it.
So the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is pretty much about Charlie Brown. Like he's planning to go with Sally and their parents to go spend Thanksgiving at his grandma's. But then he gets a call from my favorite Peanuts character Peppermint Patty, telling her that they want to come over to Charlie Brown's place to spend Thanksgiving with him, and she says that he's also bringing Marcy and Franklin. And then of course Charlie Brown, being his wishy-washy self, doesn't say no. He says okay, see you then. And so you see Charlie Brown, Linus, Sally, and even Snoopy and Woodstock in their own way pretty much get prepared for Thanksgiving. They even there's this cute little moment. There's this song a jazz song called Little Birdie that plays while Snoopy and Woodstock try to get ready for Thanksgiving in their own way. Like I remember they set up a ping pong table and used it as a Thanksgiving table.
Yeah.
I thought it was really hilarious. And then of course, like I said, as the song Little Birdie plays, which by the way is a catchy song, you do eventually see Snoopy and Woodstock dress up as pilgrims. They go to Charlie Brown's place and they show off their pilgrim outfits, and then Charlie Brown's like, Snoopy, it's no time to mess around. it's those cute, funny little interactions with Snoopy and Charlie Brown. One of those Charlie Brown and Snoopy, those little interactions that makes Peanuts, such a heartwarming franchise.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. I just feel like this definitely is like a classic, like Thanksgiving special where we get to see like the Peanuts characters interact, having a little problem here and there, but in the end ended up having a wholesome dinner at the end.
Yeah. And it all comes back full circle when Peppermint Patty, Marcy, and Franklin arrive for Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving, and then of course they're getting ready for a feast, but instead of the turkey like they usually do at Thanksgiving, Snoopy instead prepares butter toast and popcorn, pretzels, and all that kind of snacks. And Peppermint Patty gets pissed and says, "What kind of Thanksgiving dinner is this?" berating at Charlie Brown. And Charlie Brown kind of walks away depressed. And to Peppermint Patty's credit, she at least come to realize that what she did was wrong, what she said was wrong. But I'm just wondering, like, it could have been handled better if Peppermint Patty went up to Charlie Brown first and said it, rather than having Marcy go up to Charlie Brown first and saying Peppermint Patty didn't mean it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I felt like Peppermint Patty could have done it herself, but I digress.
And again, it's more of this is more of like old cartoons back in the days, when they came to their Thanksgiving special. So if anything, it's supposed to relay the message, like it's not a perfect dinner, but at the end, it's all about friends and family hanging out and having a having a good dinner and talking with friends in the end.
Yeah, and Peppermint Patty does go up to Charlie Brown eventually and asks if all is forgiven, to which Charlie Brown says, yes, we're all good. Mm-hmm. And so Charlie Brown gets a call from his grandma, and pretty much Charlie Brown explains to her that all his friends are at Charlie Brown's house for Thanksgiving dinner. And that's when she brings up good news that Charlie Brown's friends are invited to her Thanksgiving dinner, so they all go together.
Yeah.
And they go together in such a heartwarming way, all together in a car, singing a song about like Over the Hill and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
And so, yeah, the ending itself really does capture how Thanksgiving is, as you point out, about family and friends. It's not about the food, it's about the folks that you're with.
Right, exactly. And I do love the whole fact that in the end, they end up having that special dinner that would have everybody like all together, be friends and stuff. So yeah, I get to see all the candy and like the bread and stuff that they're all sharing in this one poster that I saw.
Also, Chef Snoopy. Chef Snoopy is a delight to watch. Look at that. Snoopy in the chef's house is just so cute.
Yeah.
And also, after there's a post-credit scene. There's an end credit scene in which Snoopy prepares his own Thanksgiving dinner with Woodstock, and it turns out to actually be a turkey. So the dog had his own turkey in his hot dog house the whole time. Are you kidding me?
I'm not surprised. Snoopy is supposed to be the sneaky one, He can be selfish like that.
Yeah. So this whole time, This whole time, Snoopy actually had a Thanksgiving dinner planned for just him and Woodstock alone. Snoopy is a bad boy. Snoopy's a bad boy.
You get to see Snoopy kind of get reckless, kind of get kind of foolish sometimes. That's the thing about Snoopy. He's supposed to be funny, so I'm not surprised that he did that in the end.
Yeah, but that's why we love him. That's why we adore Snoopy. He's just so memorable because of how he pretty much pulls off these moves and all that stuff. He's really smart for a dog too.
I'm surprised. Like, I don't know if cable networks actually were airing a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, unless I don't know what's going on with like airing it on cable networks anymore, because I feel like Apple TV took everything from Peanuts. So if anything, the Apple TV Plus network would be the one spot to actually watch a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving now.
I can't remember whether or not they still air Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I remember they still did air It's a Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I was kind of wondering, like, maybe I missed it or something, or maybe I forgot about it when it was like airing before Thanksgiving or something. But I know that's a classic and everybody wants to watch that. It's just like saying Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, every time you see that 3D that's not even animated, it's more like a puppetry sort of like cartoon come up like in the cable networks. Yeah, that's a classic to watch.
Yeah, so a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, like, I wouldn't say it's at the level of It's a Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown or Charlie Brown Christmas in terms of how in terms of quality, but in terms of how it is on its own, Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is definitely worthwhile, and it's definitely something worth watching every Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think like I said, I missed the mark when it came to actually watching the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, but I've watched others that came up. I mean, Big Deal was one because Big City Greens, they're gonna air it all the time on Disney Channel. Loudest Thanksgiving, they put it up on Nickelodeon for a while, and I'm like, thank you, finally putting up a Thanksgiving episode of The Loud House. But then, like, when it comes to the old ones, I mean, I maybe it's just because I'm old or something, but I forgot them. Like, I forgot about the Rugrats one. The Arnold one I forgot about too. Charlie Brown is a classic. It's just going to be stuck in my head maybe just once a year, but I have to rewatch it in order for me to actually see what Charlie Brown Thanksgiving was. But like I said, we don't have much when it comes to Thanksgiving specials, so these specials that come out for Thanksgiving are very rare, and it's awesome to at least see that some shows care about Thanksgiving while others don't.
Yeah, honestly, like I said before, we feel that like Thanksgiving specials, they're pretty much underused as a whole in television. They're underused in comparison to other holidays, and I feel like Thanksgiving should get more appreciation.
It should, but it's always Halloween, it's always Christmas, and I feel like every cartoon has always had a Christmas special and a Halloween special. I mean, there's no Thanksgiving special for Amphibia, there's no Thanksgiving special for Owl House, or actually no Christmas special for Owl House either. So there is nothing much when it comes to the holidays. Like, I guess some shows never really do put up a lot when it comes to their holidays, but there always will be a Halloween. There always will be a Christmas one for every cartoon.
Well, yeah, because they're the most festive.
Exactly, yeah. So, if anything, yeah. So, I think that's all we can say about Thanksgiving. We went through our traditions, and we went through pretty much all of our traditional Thanksgiving cartoons that we always watched.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to look back on our Thanksgiving specials, and because it really does have these heartwarming messages about what Thanksgiving is about, and we do appreciate watching them every year.
And I understand, like, some people don't really care about Thanksgiving that much, but at least there's some that are out there that care about Thanksgiving a lot. So for those who do celebrate it and really appreciate it, I hope you guys had a great one, and we can't wait for Christmas because it is pretty much the kickstart to Christmas now.
Yes, so. It's beginning to look a lot like.
Yeah,
Christmas.
now you can sing it, not before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, honestly, like there's this mindset of, once Halloween is done, Christmas is still here. And then like Thanksgiving, like, am I a joke to you? There's Thanksgiving right around the corner, okay?
Yeah, people have to know that Thanksgiving. I mean, hey, we get 4 days off of work. Hey, I'll take that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Christmas time is here, and we're ready to talk about Christmas stuff before the year ends. So yeah, a lot more episodes of the Anination Podcast for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, but that is pretty much it for our Anination Podcast episode. Thank you very much for all who are watching on Twitch. Thank you all for watching. If you are watching on Twitch, please follow us on Twitch so you can be able to be notified when we'll be on next time. We're going to be on again next Wednesday for another episode of the Anination Podcast, so be aware of that. And for those who are watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified when we'll have a new episode of the Anination Podcast on YouTube, and also be notified by hitting the bell button as well. And also check out our social media sites as well, Mastodon, Threads, Instagram, and Twitter, so you can get to see what is going on what's the status-wise when it comes to the Anination Podcast. And also check out our Patreon as well, patreon.com/AnimationPod, so you can be able to subscribe to us and also see everything behind the scenes when it comes to the outlines, to the pictures that we use today, and to all other things that go behind the scenes when it comes to making a podcast like this.
Yeah, and let's just say that when you go to our Patreon page and pledge, the more you pledge, the more rewards and perks you're going to get.
Pretty much, yeah. All right, well, that's pretty much it for us here. We were over like 2 hours and 30 minutes, I think, in this stream tonight. But it was pretty festive. Hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I certainly did, and I'm glad you did too.
Yeah, for sure. And I hope you all had an amazing Thanksgiving yourselves. We'll be back next week for another episode of the Anination Podcast. But until then, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.